This is the latest disclosure in a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life.
Welcome to Dead Radio.
We're not doing that.
How did she come to have sex with a dead man?
Don't call me Radio Unit 91.
You're a dead man. You're a dead man!
He's God here in this radio station.
Place where the dead speak.
Rebel Radio!
I'm a fake? Yes. How'd you like to be dead?
You ever think about doing radio?
My team is dead!
But you're not crazy. You're me. And this is just radio.
By the powers vested in me by the Federal Communications Commission, I command you to get on the microphone in a serious manner and continue this broadcast.
All right. Shout out to Facebook for crashing right in the middle of my of sharing all the information that we needed for tonight. I actually wrote like a nice little thing. That was fun. Put some like effort into it, and then I hit share, and
Maybe next time put it on Word.
fucking disappeared. So I have no idea what just happened. It's not up, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Just you guys share.
Yeah.
Let everybody know.
We'll do some stuff.
Does everybody know?
Everybody.
I wore a sweatshirt for the show because in the winter it gets hot. It gets super cold down here. But my wife got that space heater.
Ooh.
Modified it. Little modifications. She took an old TV stand and bolted it to it. So now it's instead of a wall mount, it's a floor standing.
Nice.
Or just standing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Floor stand.
Yeah.
Floor stand.
Handstand, floor stand, same thing.
But anyway, welcome to Dead Radio, episode 193. Yum. Closing in on the old bicentennial.
Yeah. I think I might have figured out a way to add in an extra show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Don't get your hopes up.
Okay.
We'll see. Jim
All right.
Brewer is going to be at the chance.
Ooh. You think we can get the Jimster on?
Yeah.
I think that's what they call him.
They don't.
So, we're here with the guys from Salt Point Meadery for the third time. Yes?
Yeah, third time.
Third time.
Yeah.
It's number, I want to say, it's 2 for Eric. Or, I'm sorry, 2 for Chris,
No.
3 for Eric.
No.
You've been on here 3 times.
Oh, yeah,
you
you're
didn't
right.
come
Yeah,
last time.
including
That's
this time.
Yeah.
Math is hard.
It is. It's brutal.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
So,
thanks for having us. I'm not going to write
Yeah.
that down because I think we already had an episode called Math is Hard.
Yeah.
Reading is hard.
Oh, reading is hard. All right,
Featuring-
I'll
too
write,
close.
I'll write down Math is
Featuring
hard.
novelist and local novelist Jen Place. The title of that episode was Reading is Hard. Yeah, you guys are back, and you have a bunch of new shit.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking
You're
awesome.
kidding,
How's
yeah.
first of all, how's everything been going? Oh, at the old meadery.
It's been great.
Yeah?
Yeah, we've been real busy. It's this past year went by fast. It's crazy. Like, I don't know when we were last on. I think it was like in the spring, but
Something like that,
It
yeah.
went like that. You know.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of events at Bethel Woods. I think I was telling you guys last time about that. They have the Harvest Festival, the Holiday Market, a craft beverage festival, and there were like 3,000 plus people every time that we were there. So it was just like nonstop. We had a few other events that we did, so that was really cool. But we've been coming out with all bunch of different meads in the process. So
yeah, the great part about it is, again, we're getting out there, we're talking to people, because you can go out there and sell any type of alcohol, but mead is such a boutique and growing market, and to be able to talk to the people and engage them, like to see their faces when they're trying this stuff, it's just been a great experience for us. It really has been.
Yeah, a lot of people at the Crafted Cup, where you can purchase you can purchase Salt Point Meadery products.
right.
Holy
Santa Claus shit.
It's a Dead Radio exclusive.
I guess we'll just jump right into that.
No, it doesn't really.
He
It
just
doesn't
wants to
really
drink.
apply. I just wanted to do it before you got to do it. But if I'm not mistaken, the Crafted Cup is the exclusive retailer of Cornerstone.
That's correct.
Coffee
Yes, sir.
Mead.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I hear has a boost of caffeine in it.
It does. It has a big boost. Huge boost of caffeine. No, actually, I mean, it's a tiny bit, but yeah.
Yeah.
Cornerstone was not the original name.
Yeah.
Well played.
It
Adam.
was
well
boost,
played.
yes.
So can you get? I'm sure you can
yeah.
get into that. No
Oh,
one
yeah,
from the
definitely.
government's listening.
TTB might be. They listen to everything. They're
Yeah.
Big Brother, man. No,
Yeah.
actually, I don't think they really,
Give a fuck?
enforce too much. Yeah,
They're like the
they just
FCC.
like. Yeah, they just like to be a pain in the ass, and then they don't really enforce anything.
Right.
So. But yeah,
just like the
I
FCC.
I think Boost was ready by the end of the summer. The
Oh,
same
yeah.
batch as what this was.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we're
we're-
ready to get
because
it
you
out there.
emailed me like the proof
Oh, yeah.
of what we're. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you tasted it at one point.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. So it was ready to go. We had the label already. It said Boost on it. It was perfect because the whole idea of calling it Boost was sort of a pun, but this whole concept has to do with community and supporting each other. And that's
Yeah,
why
so-
it's like a trio collaboration effort.
So now I understand what Cornerstone means. Like
Yeah.
the Cornerstone kind of community.
Yeah,
Never
pretty
mind.
much. Yeah, you could say that if you want.
So that's not it at all.
It's
then, is
the
it?
it's the second name we would have went with.
Yeah,
So-
That's like my band name.
No,
Life
but
on
yeah,
Fire. That
Cornerstone.
wasn't the first one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you read the back, it does say.
Well, and just like your band Life on Fire, the first name was better.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It does say collaboration is the cornerstone of a vibrant community.
There it is.
So, but yeah, so they had an issue with Boost because it would imply that you're selling something that gives you an energy boost. And you pretty much,
Does
pretty
it?
much can't. And the funny thing is, I put contains caffeine on the label to begin with. You submit it online, they bounce it back. The reviewer bounces it back, and they're like, you need to change this, and that. One of them was you cannot say contains caffeine on it,
But it
which I
does.
think is insane. Yeah, you
Yeah.
want to inform.
So if
the
you have
consumer.
a fucking heart condition and
Right.
you drink that, you might have a
yeah.
problem.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Don't-
it was
don't
pretty
mi-
crazy.
Right. Don't mislead people with Boost.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah,
it
but
contains
let's
caffeine.
mislead
Let's leave
people.
that off.
Yeah, it's insanity. Just ask any meadery owner out there that
Yeah.
creates commercial mead.
Oh,
they
yeah.
have to deal with the TTB.
We
It's
told you
insane.
about the what the fuck's the other meadery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Misto.
he was saying that they wanted it to be on the label. It had to
Right.
say non-traditional wine product.
Yeah.
The fuck is
Yeah.
that?
Other than standard wine.
Other than standard
Yes.
wine, yeah.
I wish I brought that. I should have. But next
Yeah.
time, we created a label as pretty much a big FU to the TTB, and I'm sharing it with all of the meadery owners. We called it regulation. We submitted this to the TTB. And they approved it at one point. They gave us a really hard time because I'm sure the reviewer was like, oh, great, like they're being assholes. But it's called regulation. It says all this stuff, extremely sarcastic from me, but maybe they don't see it that way. It's like, regulation is a very important, aspect of the federal government, and you must, do these things. And it says like, other than honey or other than standard wine with honey, lactose, cocoa nibs, like I had to list it all out. It's this huge paragraph on the front of the label.
He got passionate about this. He really
Oh, yeah.
did, yeah.
Well, when you got to deal with them all the time, it's like, all right.
Yeah, when you see something other than standard wine, you imagine like 1984 where it says like food store, and that's what they have to call it.
They have
Right.
it. They
Shit
have
like
it at
that.
my market. It just says wine product on it.
Yeah.
I'm not
Right,
doing that.
Wine.
Yeah, but they can't call it
They
the
can't.
stuff that they
It's
have at
wine-ish.
Oh, yeah.
because
Wine-ish.
New York
Right.
said that you can sell wine, but it has to be can't be above 7% alcohol or something. So it's a wine product. It's not
Yeah.
wine.
Right.
But
It's
that's
crazy.
what I think of when I hear non-standard. What was the term again?
Other than standard
Other
wine.
than standard
You'll
wine.
see that
Other
on
than
some meads out
standard.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
they say, screw it. I fought with the TTB so much. It's like, all right, fine. We'll just put it on there.
Yeah.
So
Well, you changed
Yeah.
it to Cornerstone,
we did.
and I don't hate it, but I do. Everybody,
Yeah.
you guys know it's no secret to you.
Oh,
guys.
the name or
the name.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's good though. I think it's still.
Nice.
It's
It wouldn't.
still,
It wouldn't bother me at all. Like I wouldn't
No.
think twice about it. I think it's a good
No, it's-
concept.
but
It's
it-
just,
I mean,
it's still.
it's more the story of how the fucking
How it
government is shitty and stupid,
This one should have
Yeah.
been called regulation.
and just shit like we had King's Court in, and they have
Yeah.
their Weebie. Have you tried that?
oh yeah, it was really
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
They have to put a handful of fucking grain in there just
Yep.
because it's two different licenses.
Yeah.
You're fermenting sugar into alcohol. What the fuck difference does it make?
It doesn't.
What ingredients you're
Yeah.
using?
You can't legally make a commercial braggot.
Yeah.
In the United States, even if the state says, and actually the farm meadery license that's coming out in New York, hopefully in 2019, they define what a braggot is, and they say you can make it, but federally speaking, you cannot. So there's no point of that until the TTB allows
We
it.
went over this the first time
Yeah,
you guys.
right.
Had.
Yeah.
Braggot is a term for what? Just like
It's
anything?
basically a beer with honey, and it's defined as a mead. It's mostly, I think it's 51% or more has to have honey in it, but the rest is like grain and malt.
Oh, okay.
So it's not something you would be able to have.
So you have to
who
call
cares?
it a beer with honey in it.
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, pretty much, and I think
Yeah.
that's what some breweries do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, I mean, that's what they did.
Yeah.
You know, he said we added the minimum amount of grain necessary to call it a beer.
Right.
And then they use the enzymes to drop it out like omission does to
Yeah.
get rid of the gluten.
Right, right.
So,
I mean, it was delicious.
but why is it that you can make a fucking gluten-free beer and that's still a beer?
Yeah, I
It's
don't-
made
I
with
don't-
totally different ingredients.
Yeah.
I don't know if it says beer anywhere on it.
I think it does, right? On,
Sure it
on
does.
gluten-free beer?
Yeah, sure it does.
Yeah.
I think it just
remember.
says, what, sorghum beer?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think it has like
Possible.
it's
Like it has
not
to
like
have
it
something
just
on
doesn't
it.
say
Yeah.
beer.
Hmm.
Omission just
Oh.
says omission. Craft beer product.
Maybe.
Yeah, beer product. Right.
Other than standard craft beer.
Other than
Yeah.
standard
Right.
craft
Right,
beer
right,
product.
yeah.
But
yeah, so
yes. Well, yeah, you go ahead.
No,
it's
that's
your,
all right.
It's your fucking drink. You talk
It's
about
my
it.
fucking drink. God, no, it's our fucking drink. So Cornerstone is what we did was we took the house blend from Crafted Cup,
At 44 Raymond Avenue, in Poughkeepsie, New
44
York.
Raymond Avenue. Yep.
Also the Galleria Mall.
Yes.
Oh,
But this particular
start
bag of coffee we got from the 44 Raymond Avenue location, we created a session mead at 7%. And then I believe it was on the third rack, we added in a good amount of coffee beans. I want to honestly, when I say good amount, it really wasn't that much in the grand scheme of things. I think it was like a cup. I can't remember off the top of my head.
How big of a batch?
This is a 10-gallon batch.
Okay.
Like we did very limited batch for this. For 3 days, it sat in there. And it soaked up all that coffee flavor and aroma. It's pretty crazy. Like you didn't need to put it in for much longer.
You know, and only because I've already had it at the shop, it's the perfect amount. Because at first you're like, this doesn't taste like. Oh yeah, it does. At the end,
Right.
I really
like, as soon as it hits the
first
back of your
taste
throat
it,
and you
yeah.
swallow, you're like, fuck, that's coffee. That's
So
crazy.
my
Yeah.
one thing I think that anybody who does get this at the Crafted Cup, you should ask for a glass if they don't give you one, because the smell is like a really big
Oh,
part
the
of
smell
it.
is the
Right.
best.
I had one. I was drinking it out of my coffee mug, which is like a wine. It's this shape probably.
Right. Yeah, a
That's
little
one that I made,
beveled.
and that was really nice. But last night I had it out of a tulip glass,
Nice.
and it was way better.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah, a lot of the aroma comes out on that. Yeah.
I also drank it right after I drank red wine,
Oh.
and that had like a weird, like
Yeah.
I was getting things out of it that I did not get the
Yeah,
night
I can
before.
imagine. Yeah. And wait, yeah, speaking of red wine with tannins in that, we did add some oak chips into the batch as well. So similar concept in barrel aging. You're not necessarily barrel aging it, but I believe that was the same amount of time that we just had some oak chips in there, pull some tannins out. And add some extra characteristic to it, some body. So
It's good.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember when we had that cream ale, the coffee cream ale at
Yeah.
the shop, and it was super weird and different? This kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah.
Where you get this like lighter bodied type of thing with coffee flavor, and it's
Right.
something that you just don't get anywhere because
Yeah.
coffee is always
Yeah,
a
it's
very
al-
dark beer.
Yeah.
You and everybody associates coffee typically with something more rich, but
yeah.
my thing, somebody actually came into the shop the other day. They do they get 6 shots of espresso and do espresso martinis, and the customer was like, I just like, there's just something not there yet. I was like, try some lemon. And they were like, she was like, what? Lemon? I'm like, yeah, you ever hear about like, or like a twist, not like juice, just like a twist, throw it in there just for some, you know, whatever. Because I used to do that with espresso. I'd go out, I'd just drop lemon in there until I realized that I did that because the espresso I was drinking was shit. But it adds that bright kind of flavor offsets the richness of the coffee, and you get this kind of weird this really nice flavor. And I think what the Mead does, because it's such a light flavor of coffee, it it makes it shine in that perspective.
Absolutely.
You know, where you don't have to have it as something very rich, very thick, very heavy. Something you can make it light. And this is like I was drinking this. I'm like, I need this for like summer. This is like a lawnmower beer almost. You know what I mean? Like this is
like
even
at
though
10
it's-
a.m. You know,
So you
it's
either
coffee.
need to do you either need to do another batch.
Yes.
Or
we will.
we need to squirrel some away at Crafted Cup where no one knows where it is.
Stash, right?
No, I mean, it was a good turnout on Friday when we released
yeah.
it with the event. It was a great event, and
we didn't mention that. We didn't mention about Taka.
Wait, before you get into this,
right,
can we drink some of this stuff?
Well, I don't know. I wasn't going to plan on opening it. But yeah,
we should mention that Taka Cooper from Hudson, our buddies over at the Hudson Valley Tattoo Company. He did the artwork for the can. It's it's wonderful. He does great work.
He
They
really
all
does,
do. They all do great work over there, and they have all of their arts up at the Crafted Cup at 44 Raymond
all of
Avenue.
their arts?
All of their arts, all of their art pieces. Did I say arts?
You
Arts.
did.
All of their
arts.
They have all their arts.
They have
up.
all the arts. But they have all of their artwork, and also other local tattoo artists as well. They have some of their stuff up, so you can take in the artists that contributed, the meadery and the coffee place. It's all in one place.
Come to Crafted Cup, get a shot of espresso, and we'll tell you we don't have lemon. You can grab one of these Cornerstone cans. We're doing them for $7, which I think is a crazy good deal.
That is a good deal.
And
Crazy good deal.
And
it's a 16 ounce, 16 ounce can.
Yeah, bring
It's
a
a pint.
donation.
It's a pint.
Yeah, bring a donation for the Poughkeepsie High School Arts Club. We're
Yes.
still accepting donations through the end of the month.
Yeah.
That was kind of like they do this every year. I think we're probably going to wind up doing their art opening every year. They also do the tattoo event and stuff, and all of that benefits Poughkeepsie High School. I have one. It's that one. Amy has 2 tattoos from that.
Nice. Sweet.
So he's got the flaming arrowhead vagina eye.
Yes. Is that designed that way? Yeah. You wanted that? Yeah. I believe it. That's
Well, what they do is they just have like this big sheet of stuff that just
It's like a pre-feed menu.
flash stuff.
Yeah,
so you go, I want that one, and then
Gotcha.
they're like, all right, what kind of colors do you want? You know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Red
All
and
right, I'll
yellow.
do it for you, you fucking idiot. Signature.
And then Ryan
Sounds like a
passes
great
out.
experience.
He
Yeah,
has
and
to
then
have
I
a
pass out, I
lollipop.
eat candy. I'm all right.
Yep. All believable. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Nice.
We were there
Yeah.
for 7 hours, and our tattoos took fucking 20 minutes.
Nice.
So yeah.
We just dipped into the old Cornerstone. There he is. It's What Are You Drinking? All right, nice fade. That's a sharp fade.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can extend it if it's really bothering you. That's
I like
the
slow
second
fades.
or third time you mentioned it.
But yeah, man. Like I think we've
I have
described
it set
it.
to 3 seconds.
We described it before we even had to take a sip. But
Yeah.
it's just really just very drinkable, and
Nice.
I was just before I got hired at the Cup. It was mostly just
You
I
mean
have
before I got you the job?
listen.
No, that's not how.
50% was
not
you.
how- that's not
the
how it
other
went at
50
all.
was my looks and
Yeah.
Tanner being gay.
Yeah, that was just for the joke. Tanner goes to me, if Ryan ever wants to work here, he's hired. And I was like, all right, I'll convince him to leave his career and concentrate on the podcast.
Nice.
And now you're working way too much at Crafted Cup and not concentrating on the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
I see you there all the time.
People are like, a lot of customers like, do you get a day off? They're in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's super drinkable. I don't know where I was going with that too. I was going somewhere
That you like it.
I like
it's
it.
delicious.
I like it a long time. There you go.
Yeah.
When I first got hired at the Craft Cup, it was always just I drank my coffee in the morning and that was it, and I had the rest of my day. Now it's just like I drink my coffee and I go, "What is this swill?" And I have to get like good stuff, you know. But
Yeah, I remember when you first started and you're like, all the coffees here are too weak. I'm like, no, you've just been drinking really shitty, over fucking burnt piece of shit caffeine added coffee. So you're like double brewing it to kind of make it taste like something.
Correct.
And the argument we kept having was like, whatever you like is fine, man. It's not wrong, but you can't serve it to people. That would be wrong. And now you got like this more nuanced kind of feel.
Yeah,
for,
I'm understanding the flavors and everything like that. And that's why I love this so much, because it gives me that little coffee taste that I like. Some people, I drink coffee black now. Well, not really. Here is I have my little creamers when I'm at home because I like to. But
I love coffee. I still don't like black coffee. If I'm tasting a coffee, trying to understand it, especially if I'm trying a coffee and giving my opinion on what might be at the shop, I'm going to drink it black.
Right.
But then I'm going to put milk in it because that's how most people drink it, and you need to know how much that changes. And that really influenced our decision on, I think, the first Big Mouth from Big Mouth Coffee Roasters.
Not
was,
a person.
that Big was Mouth. We put whatever we would normally, how you would take it normally, and you should kind of do both.
Yeah.
And it totally changed what I was thinking I liked.
Yeah, we had one. We had one that we were tasting. We put we were drinking it. We really liked it. We put milk in it, and it turned like acrid. It was fucking gross. Like you couldn't drink it with milk in it.
It tastes like it was like a burnt lemon.
Yeah, or like it like tasted like a battery. Like you touched, the taste from a 9-volt.
Yeah,
that's some people might like that. I don't know.
I guess.
America.
I don't know.
Speaking of which, I forgot to mention there is lactose in this. A tiny bit of lactose.
Nice.
It
Well, that's
really
fine.
designed to add body to it.
Yeah.
You just reminded me because I like my coffee black. I mean, that's usually how I would drink it. But this does have a little extra for the body and some sweetness without adding sugar. You add lactose as an additive on the back end instead of adding extra sugar or honey into it. So,
That's the other thing. Yeah. My wife Brooke, she can't drink a lot of stuff like this because of the sugar content and everything like that. But she had this a little bit of this, and she was fine. So the drier stuff, the better.
Yep, I agree.
And that's another thing that a lot of customers say when they come up. You have mead here? I'm like, yeah, but all right.
Yeah.
So hang on.
Yeah, you know all about it. Yeah. That's I mean, that happens a lot at events. People are walking up and they give that happened big time recently. Somebody gave him a face like, "Oh, mead," and it's like, "Hold on, no, you're gonna like mead at the end of."
I called her. I said, "Come here. You're not gonna make that face. Come over here." Yeah, buying a bunch of bottles, loved it. So
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sure
just gotta convince.
I'm sure I've told this story on the show, maybe when you guys were here, but we did that Wiccan wedding.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You guys want some mead?" And I'm like, "Yeah, awesome." And this is probably a year or two before I've even met you guys. And she gives it to us. I didn't know what it was. And we took a sip, and then we politely walked away, and then we sat in the grass and both quietly dumped it out.
I remember this story.
It was like Carol's mead or something like that.
Yeah. I know the feeling.
And I can't even get through it. I don't know how people like it.
Yeah.
It's so sweet.
Too sweet, and it's got like these random off tastes
that
they're trying to cover up with the sweetness.
It's a sweetening to cover up.
Well, they have to be. They have to be adding just honey on the back end, like after they
they could
it,
be.
Right?
Yeah, they could be. A lot of meaderies do that, but they know what they're doing when they do.
Well, I've done that. I've done that before.
Right.
When I had one come out like way too dry, like I'll rack, and then I'll add a little bit of.
You get some of that raw honey flavor coming through.
But you can tell. You can tell when it's not fermented too.
Yeah.
Whereas I've made meads that were, like 20% alcohol potential because I was going for something sweeter.
Right.
And you just keep going until it dies out. Right, wind, depending on the yeast, you wind up like, 12, 13%, and then you got all that left over. Right. You can tell the difference. It feels more aged and more mature as opposed to just like drinking honey water.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
Yeah, with 4.5 to 5% alcohol. Like,
right.
Why are you paying $12 for that?
Paying $12 to get diabetes.
Yeah, exactly. Just go chug some honey.
There you go.
Which would be delicious.
Yeah. Like one guy, we've told the story. I'm at 1,000,000 times.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
pagan, so I know mead. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
do ya?
We actually, we
You're
met some
s- you're
pagans
60
along the
years
past
old.
year. Yeah.
But have you guys noticed a trend in the? So you guys do a couple different kinds of mead,
Right?
So you do the I forget the names. I know it's the it's the black currant, the currant rose,
Yeah.
The what's
lemon ginger.
the lemon ginger? That's tradition, right?
No, that's revival. And
Revival.
we made 2 batches of that. We haven't made one since.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's more of it is a polarizing flavor. So
Okay.
that's why like current rose is very like it's just
Yeah.
mainstream and
That's
the
the-
flagship. Everybody.
That's the
likes
one
it.
that I sell the most.
Right.
People, people get sold the most on, I should say,
Yeah.
because I say it's more leaning toward a wine,
Mm-hmm.
while the session ones are more leaning toward a cider, and
Yeah.
it's not the best word to
Well, that's
say, but it's as
probably-
close as I
yeah.
can get
No,
for
it's pretty
everybody.
accurate.
Have you guys seen a trend as to which moves, better? Like,
I think
fast-
it depends on the demographic. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely depends on the demographic.
Yeah.
We've found a lot of success in doing more of those session style meads, the 8%ers, the 7 to 9%ers, keeping it under 10%. Any of the ones that we can put and offer, not just on the keg platform, but on the can platform for the millennials.
Oh, yeah.
It seems to be a real big splash for us.
Millennials.
Just to focus dead on. I mean,
No, it's true.
It's the
So I
truth.
think the Revolution does really well at the
Yeah.
shop.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Maybe not as well as the current, but
Yeah.
sells really well.
Right. It does really well. We have one place
I was
in
just
Brooklyn.
drinking it from the keg. I was just
Oh
like,
yeah, I
holding the
believe
keg.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, the best thing about that little tap handle is
You
you
just
can
lay
walk
on the
around
floor.
with it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Nice. No, every time that Revolution, that batch is presented to somebody in Brooklyn, millennials in Brooklyn, they eat it up. It's crazy. Bad Seed Cider across the river.
Yeah.
They buy kegs of it from us up here, and they'll drive it down to their tasting room in Williamsburg, which is awesome. Like we got an inn in Brooklyn.
That's great.
cool,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
really cool guys. Really
Yeah, we've
nice.
had- we had Bram on the show.
We had Bram on the show. Yeah, they were great.
Oh yeah, just met him recently. Usually, we go through Devon. But it's awesome. They've been eating it up since the summer. I think we went through 4 kegs there since then, which is pretty awesome. Compared, they have like 12 ciders, a bunch of beer, and then our mead. So
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's pretty cool.
awesome. Yeah. So I guess that ends that question.
Yeah,
Well, I just-
Revolution. I would
So,
say
yeah.
moves very fast.
Yeah, I mean, especially because it's something that works well in a keg, and
good summer
we
drink,
had
too.
it hooked up to our nitro system,
Yeah.
so it
yeah.
was
Fucking
after
awesome.
2-3 days it was a nitro mead.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
so good.
I wish you told me that. I
Nitro.
would have came in to have
Yeah.
some.
It changed
Well,
the mouth.
I mean, it's not like we're not going to sell it
Yeah,
ever
I'm sure,
again.
I'm sure it
Yeah,
changes the
yeah.
mouthfeel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You get
yeah.
like just the micro bubbles instead of like the heavier
Yeah.
kind of like cidery bubbles instead.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Revival because we had talked about that as a product that, while it's a great product, it is polarizing.
Yeah.
Part of that conversation is how we came about with our summer line, which is our sweet spot, which we'll release when we come pro. So that next year.
Again, very delicious.
Yeah, and that's how we came to that. We said, you know what? If this is something here, but how can we morph this? How can we make this something? And that's where we adjusted some of the recipe and said it's going to be a completely different line, but the root of it came from the Revival idea.
Oh, okay. I
So-
understand.
You see,
Yeah.
I always preferred the Revival because the first time I ever made mead, I just seriously Googled traditional mead recipe.
Yeah.
And it had a lot of those flavors. It was like lemon zest, and I think there was in the one that I did, it was like clove and cinnamon, and it really reminded me of that first successful batch of mead that I made.
Yeah.
The first 2 were not that great. They came out very sweet,
Yeah.
and one got content. But that's all.
And it's all about
habits,
the
man.
balance
Yeah.
of the the pH levels, and that's
Yeah.
why sometimes they're adding like zest and things
Yeah.
like that. So that's why lemon works pretty nice in meads. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can see why people are like, I don't know about this because it's
Yeah.
flavors that you just don't get.
Right.
And you can get kind of like a little bit of a musky flavor out of that kind of thing. So I can see why
Little
people.
woodiness.
Yeah, it might not be the. If I was you've never had mead, I'm gonna give you the
Right.
current first.
Yeah.
You know,
The
and
entry-level
especially
mead, yeah, I got
and
it.
some people who are really worried about it, I kind of recommend it over ice.
Right.
I
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
I
that's a
really
good
like
call.
it's a totally different flavor
Yep.
when you do it over ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, and it doesn't mean that we're not going to make Revival again.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll
absolutely.
totally make it again. I think it's just not one of our flagship mainstream meads, We'll just reintroduce it again at some point. So, yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one a lot.
Yeah.
But you got a couple here too.
We do. We have some others. Yeah.
I see a lot of I see a lot of button pushing. I'm excited.
Yeah. I don't know what that means. Oh,
You'll
yeah,
say
now I
here.
know what that
Dead
means.
Radio
Yeah.
exclusive.
Yeah, there are some exclusives here. Yeah. Probably the next one we'll pour is the winter seasonal. We have 120 bottles of these. And what we did was, thank you. What we did with this, we collaborated with Dennings Point Distillery in
Oh,
Beacon.
shit.
Yeah, cool guys. They make really good stuff.
Oh, they're
They
great.
do.
I love
Yes,
that.
they do.
Yeah.
Do they still do the open mic blues jam like
Yep.
on
Yeah.
second
Yep.
Saturday?
Yep.
I think
That's
when
the
I
shit.
picked up the barrels
It's
on
the
that
absolute
night.
shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
Yeah. So we got 2 10-gallon barrels from them, and what they did was they had bourbon barrels.
Mhm.
They emptied out the bourbon and bottled that, and then they put apple brandy in those barrels.
Yeah, buddy.
They emptied that out, and they gave us the barrels. And so we took 10% mead, traditional mead, and aged it in that for about a month. And it brought out some crazy, awesome flavors. It almost tastes like brandy, but its own sort of, flavor in itself. A lot of tannins, some vanilla from the oak was brought out. It's really cool. So we'll pour that if you're ready.
we'll do that right now.
Yeah. This is called Safe Haven. And
So
Holy Santa Claus shit.
I don't know if
It's
this is
a
a
Dead Radio exclusive.
Is
you
it?
never had it.
Well, I've never had it, but
Has
can you
anybody
buy-
else?
Yeah.
We've sold so far 2 bottles of this. We literally just bottled
Yeah.
this on Thursday.
Fuck
So-
it. I
Can
would call that
you get
an
it through the
exclusive.
website?
What's that?
This one?
Yeah, eventually. Yeah, well, probably this week we'll get it up on
Ooh,
there
it
when
smells
we
really
finish
good.
this.
Smells very appley.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's really appley.
Yeah, it's got a lot of
Yeah.
apple
Woo!
flavor. Yeah.
It's got a little.
So yeah, if
little
you want to
sting
take a look
it.
at the label, it's a winter line. So obviously we got
Oh, this
winter
is
looking
good.
imagery on there. It's called Safe Haven. The whole idea is you want something nice and warm, in the middle of the winter.
That's fantastic.
Holy shit! I
got
can
the
really
cabin
taste
on
the
there.
oak at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys like it. So we will be.
Yeah, this is
yeah.
this is definitely a good, wintry
Mhm.
kind of thing. Even though it's
kind of gives you a little.
it's not the
that
color
warming-
of something you would drink that that kind of, but it's got it's way more richer
Mhm.
than the Cornerstone,
Yeah.
and that oak.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like how would Amber describe it? It's like sitting in a log cabin under a bearskin rug
Yeah.
or some
Like
shit
that.
like that.
Yeah. So you
Wow, it's
got
really
it.
good.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, we'll be featuring that. It's a limited batch, and we're gonna have an event next week, which we haven't mentioned yet. On Sunday at Adams Fairacre Farms in Poughkeepsie, pop-up tasting and sales where the former pastry garden was or is.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we'll be there from like 12 to 4 the 16th. And that's one of, along with Queen's Crown there, we'll be pouring for taste and bottles to go.
So much oak.
Yeah. And
Holy
that's
shit.
1 month. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine if we left it in for like a year.
That's like
Yeah.
heavy oak.
Mhm.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah.
I don't think you should leave it in for a year.
No,
I think
well,
it would overshadow things.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
No,
You
Well,
do
'cause,
get some honey in it
my
still.
my
Yeah.
big, and it's interesting with mead because mead is not wine, it's mead. And I fucking hate oak Chardonnays.
Yeah.
It's total
Right,
garbage.
right.
I fucking hate it. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Right.
This, I think, if you overdid it, you'd get there with that flavor. But this
Yeah.
has so much to combat that
Right.
oaky vanilla flavor that it's balanced and it's great.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thanks.
But I
Thank
think if
man.
you, I think you could do a little bit more. But I think if you
Mhm.
did a year, it would
It would
to me, it would taste like
overpower.
vanilla syrup.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You lose the butteriness to it that's in
Mhm.
there. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, and they I
Can I see
don't
the label?
Yeah, go for it. So
There's your log cabin.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna look at it. I'm just gonna look at it
While you
sideways like
pour
this.
it. Oh, that's
Looks
interesting.
great.
Ooh, watch out! I think. Okay, no, you're right.
Yeah, it looks really good.
So if we aged it in a 55-gallon barrel, maybe longer would make
Oh, yeah.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
'cause-
area,
yeah.
the
Right.
space.
Surface area.
Yeah,
And
surface
we've,
area.
Yeah, we've talked about this on the show a little
Yeah.
bit, that the size of the barrel makes a real big
Yeah,
difference.
for sure.
For the,
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But doing the smaller barrel definitely. I mean, for you guys, you're going to want to dial it in to get it out as quick as possible.
Right.
you
Well,
know?
yeah, especially this one we
Yeah.
started in the fall, so it was like, yeah, we want this for the winter, and especially the holidays. So, yeah. It worked out though with the 1 month.
Yeah. What's the price point on that?
This guy we're selling retail for 25.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think that's fair, especially for a very small batch.
Right.
Yeah, and you do get the feeling with this over the Cornerstone, let's say, that you're drinking something a little fancier.
Right.
Something that should be a higher price point, and it's a slightly higher alcohol content. So it's something that, you share a bottle with somebody.
Right, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's just like Cornerstone. It's 500 milliliters, which is, basically a pint. You split that, 8 ounces is perfect for a serving. Yeah. You'll feel nice and toasty after that. Yeah.
Yeah, or if you just
Or
wanna,
the whole bottle.
if you just want to treat yourself,
Right.
on a Tuesday,
or a Monday night. I'm glad you guys like it.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Thank you.
I was talking about the canned rosés and canned wines that they have nowadays.
Yeah.
And they're great and all. They come in pint cans just like that and everything.
Yeah.
But at the end of them, you're like, I don't feel good. It's like two and a half. It's like 2.5 beers in one slug, and you're just like, holy fucking
crazy.
shit.
My favorite thing is the wine that comes in like the coconut water looking box.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
the
Oh,
Boda-
yeah.
That you could
Boda
just drink.
box.
You could just drink on a bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody would
Fucking
know
the difference.
Yeah. Nobody, exactly.
They kind of now it's kind of normal. I remember 6 Point was putting them in those like tall
the
cans.
slim.
Yep.
For a while there, I was just walking around in public. Like, people are gonna think this is a Red Bull. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
But now,
now
too
there's
many
more.
people are doing it.
Right.
But yeah,
Too many.
So
yeah.
gotta stop.
Ruined it for you.
Yeah, those like paper box wines, and it's got like a twist off top that
Right.
you can put back on. Yeah, that's
I
the way to
mean,
go.
it's convenient. Yeah. Why not?
And it's to the point now where it's like I get why like they used glass for the longest time, but aluminum now they're coated. It doesn't change the flavor at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
It's convenient.
went
for-
to a thing this weekend. It was cans everywhere.
Mhm.
It was all cans. Sloop Brewing. It was like
Yeah, yeah.
fucking a
Yeah.
sea of
Yeah,
cans.
we,
everywhere.
dude, we
couldn't
had
find a bottle anywhere.
we
Right,
argued
it's-
we
and I'm
argued
not
about
talking
the
like fucking. Oh yeah, we argued
Yeah.
for years.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about like Pabst and Coors
Yeah.
Light. It was
No,
all
it's-
like Sloop
No,
and
it's all
this
Sloop.
this
Yeah.
brewery and that
Yep.
brewery. And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, the
man.
dynamic is
Yeah,
changing
that's
on
the
how
point.
it's packaged.
and a
it's
lot of
good.
that is
Yeah.
because first and foremost, it doesn't taste different anymore.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Nope.
And it's better for the environment, and it's cheaper for the person making it, which
Yep.
makes it cheaper for you to sell.
Right. And it's
So,
more
yeah.
convenient and easier to package on
Yeah,
our
totally.
end, and easier for somebody to grab and just go.
And it's
you
more
know.
easily recycled.
Right.
That's my biggest thing.
Right.
Is like glass. Yeah, you can recycle
Yeah.
glass, but it's
Yep.
a lot more
It's a pain in
expensive,
the ass.
and it uses a lot more energy than
Mhm.
recycling aluminum.
Yep.
Aluminum, they just melt it down, and most of the plastics and stuff that they're using to treat the inside are biodegradable
Yep.
and plant based. Because if you use chemical based, it tastes weird.
Right.
Right.
So
Yeah, exactly.
most I was reading most of the coatings they're using inside of cans now are soybean based.
Yeah.
So they melt them down, all that stuff just burns off,
Right.
and then they just make new cans.
Yeah. It's very sustainable. It's awesome. Yeah.
But the best thing is just to get growlers.
Yeah,
Use
I
shit.
prefer crowlers
Yeah,
over
crowlers.
growlers.
Yeah.
Crowlers are cool.
I'm not
Yeah.
a fan of the growler.
Crowler?
Yeah,
man.
Crowler is
Crowler's
a
the
32
cans.
ounce can.
Oh,
so
like
you
a-
fill it up and
Like one of those Grolsch fucking
Yeah.
things.
Well,
No,
they do,
no,
they
no,
do
that's-
last longer, but
Yeah, I mean, once you pop it
Yeah.
open, but it's honestly the growlers. I think it's just more cumbersome to deal with. I don't know.
that you wind up having like 32 of them because you keep forgetting to
Yeah.
bring it.
Oh
with
yeah,
you.
let me get the other one. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Collection.
great story. When I was at Boutique Wine and Spirits, awesome place. They have all of our meads there. They're really cool place. I don't know if you've been there. Tons of cider on tap
Yeah.
that you can taste.
Fishkill.
Oh, fuck.
Fishkill.
And fill up a growler to go.
Where's
Where
it?
is
What's it
this
called?
place?
In Fishkill, Boutique Wine and Spirits.
Okay.
It's right across
Oh,
from the Walmart.
okay.
Yeah, go check it out. Really cool people. They had an event. It was a cider tasting, and they invited us, so it was mead and cider tasting. It was packed, like 150 people. It was insane. And we were talking and everything. All of a sudden, it sounded like a gunshot went off. So everybody stops talking and immediately looks over to the bar where the cider taps are. Somebody brought in a growler that was half filled in their car, and it was in like hot weather, sun beating down on it. They didn't know any better, so they brought it in. He went to open it, and the thing exploded on him, like to the point where it sounded like a gunshot. The glass went everywhere.
Oh,
it was insane. So, I mean, there's many reasons why I'm not a fan of like having dealing with growlers, but that's like one big reason because you don't know what people are going to do with them, like and that stuff can happen. So Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I learned the hard way. Well, not really. I thought it might happen, so I planned for it. But do not force carbonate in a growler; it doesn't work.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in a very tiny 1-bedroom apartment, and I was just like, this is probably not a good idea.
But I'm gonna do it anyway.
So I did it, and then I put them in the bathtub.
Yeah.
And like 3 o'clock in the morning, bang.
Yeah.
And then I wake up, another bang. So I was like, I know exactly what that is.
He went back to sleep.
No. I went into the bathroom and uncorked all of them
Yeah.
to let the pressure off. But I was like, what if one exploded right when I picked it up?
Yeah.
Like it could have done that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here today to tell
And
the
then
story.
I watched the Breaking Bad episode where that happened, and I was just like, I've heard this story. This is not weird.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, they're not pressure vessels. Do
No,
not
they
force
are
carbonate in
not.
those.
No.
Force carbonate. You can force carb. If you want to force carbonate, do it. You can do it in soda bottles if you're trying to do it on the cheap.
Yep.
That's one of the better ways to do
Expansion
it. If you
there,
don't
there
want
you go.
plastic,
So, like a plastic soda bottle?
Yep.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, they
Well,
work
it
great.
holds a lot of carbonation in there. Yeah.
Yeah, they hold a lot of pressure.
how about
Or Grolsch bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you know if it's swing top, it's a little safer.
Yeah.
Totally.
Pretty much any swing top bottles can be okay. Do not do the ones from IKEA. Those are fake.
It's because it's
Those,
IKEA.
those will explode too.
Right.
You want to do it with Grolsch bottles, or just fucking go on eBay and just get the swing top bottles for brewing.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are
they're
the
like
shit.
$2
They're
a
all
piece.
over.
They're not expensive.
All over the place.
I used to use one down here for my water until I knocked it over
Yeah.
and broke it and spilled water all over
Yeah.
Magus
Actually-
Peter H.
yeah.
Gilmore of the high priest of the Church of Satan's shoes.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was water. At least.
That's the end game, my
He was
friend.
fine. He was fine.
It's like,
And
that's not holy
it
water.
didn't burn him or anything.
We got a good amount more if you want.
Ooh, yeah,
Do you want
definitely.
one?
That's a good
I
little-
kind of have to. I
Right.
kind of have to pee though. So
Yeah, I was
maybe
just
let's
about
take
to
a-
say we're about to at the halfway mark, so let's
Yeah.
let's take a quick break. I am prepared this week, and if you hold on, let me just start this shit up. So if you want to check out Salt Point Meadery, saltpointmeadery.com. They're also at Salt Point Mead on Facebook, at Salt Point Meadery on Instagram, and you're doing a pop-up tasting at Adams Fairacre Farm Sunday, December 16th. That's
Got it.
this
Sunday.
This
yeah,
Sunday.
6 days from now.
From 12 to 4 p.m. over by the old pastry garden. I got that from your website, so that's not me.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But yeah, the old pastry garden, not the new pastry garden.
Right.
Go to Adams and ask about Mead. Where can I get the free booze? And then, well, it's
They'll
not
send
free.
you over.
You're tasting, right?
Well,
Yeah,
we'll
so-
do a tasting. Yeah, you
Some
can
of
try
it's
it out.
free.
Bottles to go.
Try it out.
Yeah, just try it out. Yeah. That's from 12 to 4 on Sunday. Shit, I might swing by.
Yeah.
I got nothing
I
to do.
am
We'll be there.
working. Maybe?
I guess you're going to be
I don't
quitting your job. That's it.
Long lunch.
I'm
Long
alright.
lunch.
I'm actually going for a Christmas Eve at my mom's house for that one. She's going away to Texas, so that night.
Oh,
so
that
maybe
night.
I'll bring some meat
There
over,
you
and
go.
we'll all have
There
a
you go.
fucking
Got it.
party.
Perfect.
All right, we'll be right back.
It sounded so good, like so good. Like, oh, I just wanted to. Oh. Thanks, man. Oh. It sounded really fucking good. Thanks.
took an oath to be someone. So wash your hands and go. Give a speech aloud and say that it's not your fault, 'cause this way you tried.
Hey, this is Vinny from the band Sponge, and you're listening to Dead Radio Podcast.
All right. One of my favorites right there.
Yeah, that was amazing. You got to interview Sponge.
Every time we play that joiner, we always talk about it.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the band Sponge from back in the 90s?
I don't think so.
I don't.
Plowed.
Rotting Pin.
World of Human Wreckage, that song?
That's Sponge?
In a world of you. Yeah.
You guys interviewed him?
We interviewed him at the Chance.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
Cool.
and then
It
we
was
videotaped
wonderful.
them on stage.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
That's cool.
He was wearing a leather jacket and sunglasses indoors.
Yeah,
of course it is.
But he looked
and
cool.
his monitors were rhinestoned. Like his in-ear monitors.
Yeah. Vinny's like a true glam rocker.
Yeah.
Nice.
These guys are awesome.
Yeah, they were great. And
That's cool.
It was a wonderful time. So, speaking of wonderful times, I see another bottle open.
There is.
I'm also going to drink this out of my mead horn.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
I was the other day, it was like 3-4 days ago, I was cleaning the house. I was like, why the fuck didn't I bring this to annoy them?
You're doing a good job so far. No.
Yeah, so, but this is a traditional, not
With
a
the
traditional
session
mead.
mead.
horn.
Oh, my God.
It's going to be good.
This is hurting me.
It's going to be wonderful.
And you got to...
I mean, it'll still taste good. But.
Oh, yeah. And especially because, so another thing is if you get a mead horn on the internet, so a mead horn, it's made from, a cattle horn. So it smells like a cow.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes your drink smell like a cow, too.
And taste like a cow.
So, yeah. So I lined mine with beeswax.
Yeah, I could see it overflowing the top.
Yeah.
Does it works? Does it work?
Yeah, it works.
Does it works?
It works great.
Does it works?
The arts.
This is more. This is too hard and it meads.
It definitely changes it. It's mostly about the wax.
It's mostly about the fact.
Well, it's not like, you give your dog the hoof. Does it taste like that?
No, it just kind of
my
dog's
got a hoof.
Smelled.
My dog's got a hoof.
No, a hoof.
And it
what's that from? That's Goodfellas.
Yeah, the hoof.
Yeah, the hoof. Anyway.
So want a leg or a wing?
Yeah, leg or a wing. Yeah, there you go. So this is Queen's Crown. It's our
this is
awesome
the big,
premium batch that we have.
Yeah, this is the big one. You guys really were pushing this quite a bit.
Yeah.
For the last couple of months. Well, a few months ago.
Right.
And this is a Bochet.
Right.
Correct.
Right?
Sir. Correct.
Listen to you.
Tell us more.
This is
I
made.
feel like he poured me
Hold
less because he was mad at me
Hold on.
about the horn.
Oh, no. I actually wasn't going to pour.
Stay on the horn hay.
Yeah.
So a Bochet is mead made with caramelized honey.
You got it.
Am I correct?
You passed the test.
Man.
Well done,
Yeah.
sir.
And it happens to be one of my favorite things on the planet Earth.
Nice.
So
Thank you.
let's.
I don't think I've had
smell
actually
Ryan.
had like
Yeah.
a real. I think I had like a little quick zip of it when you guys were
When
in.
we first came out.
Yeah, and that's it. I haven't actually had like a full
Full
thing.
glass.
Of this,
Oh,
but,
it's quite the thing to have
yeah,
a full
so
glass. Yeah.
Prost.
Cheers. Yeah. Yeah. That's my
I love
favorite
that.
part. My favorite part is that after you swallow it, it's
Yeah,
just
you
like
get that big like.
a bouquet of just toasted marshmallows and
Yes.
smokiness.
This is the
Goodness.
shit. This is,
Thanks.
I love this so much, and
Thank you.
no offense, but the first Bochet I had was when Misto was in, And
I like it.
And he had nothing but good things to say about this because I believe he had tried it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we
yeah.
tried it
Yes.
before. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
This is just fucking awesome because you can taste you taste the maple and you taste the caramelized honey, and it's really like rich and warm, and it's a
Yeah.
good like after dinner kind of dessert thing. And
What's nice about it, it's not like heavy,
Yeah.
you know, to the point where it's
Right.
sugary and it bogs you down.
yeah,
like, you
it's
can
not
still
like
have a
like
good amount of it.
Yeah, it's not like syrupy.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not
Right.
syrupy
Right.
at all those things that I described make it sound like it's gonna be like Jesus. That's a
Yeah.
fucking
No,
sugar bomb.
It's on the sweet side,
Yeah.
but it's more of an aperitif kind of sweet,
Right.
not like
or a digestif.
sure.
Yes,
there you go.
see.
Yeah. The
I really don't know the difference.
Yeah.
One's
I mean,
before, one's after.
Yeah, but I don't know the difference in what they should taste like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
either.
I think an aperitif is sweet and a digestif is bitter.
The digestif is going to be bitter.
Okay,
yeah,
so
for
this is
sure.
an
maybe that
aperitif.
is
All right,
the
you win.
difference. Yeah.
Thank you.
But
I usually
it's
do.
crazy that this has like such a sweet flavor or characteristic, but we fermented the sugars completely out.
Yeah.
But it's that caramelization
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
like really it
Yeah.
attaches to your teeth.
Yeah,
it's just
it's
like
I mean, like I've talked about this in beer, and I'm sure it's the same thing. As you boil it, like the example I always give, and I've done it on the show a couple times, is when you make rock candy, you heat sugar up to hard crack, and then it crystallizes. When you caramelize honey or any other sugar on a molecular level, it becomes bigger.
Yeah.
And the yeast can't eat it anymore.
Right.
And that's how you get, even though it's fermented to full dryness and the yeast drop out and all of that, you have these leftover sugars that we can taste, but the yeast can't eat it.
Right.
So it's
some residual sugars. Yeah.
So
for sure.
so you still have that sugar content in there, but it's from caramelizing the honey
Right.
that you get those flavors. And it took me a long time when I first was making mead to like figure that out, because there's a couple ways to do it, because you don't want it to be completely dry or it tastes like fucking alcohol water.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
And that's happened a couple of times to me, because I try and make 5% alcohol mead because I'm trying to do it quickly, and then it just doesn't taste like anything.
Yeah,
but
it's
if
like
you
water.
if you heat it up and you caramelize some of that sugar, it stays in there without the yeast being able to eat it. And so I made mead before I ever made beer. I don't know why that happened.
Same
but,
here.
yeah.
Actually, I still have yet to make a beer myself.
I made one or two in the past. Yeah. Really light though. We were more involved with ciders actually than actually beer making.
I've never done a successful cider.
Yeah,
they've always tasted like crap.
Like
like
really
lemon
dry.
juice and alcohol.
Stand back, you shitheads.
What?
Because an aperitif is meant to stimulate the appetite, the drink should be very dry, low in sugar, since sugar actually limits our appetite, as well as low in alcohol, because no one wants to get sloshed before dinner.
You pulled up the internet.
Classic aperitifs are drinks such as dry vermouth, gin, bubbly, and dry white wine. And the digestif's main purpose is to aid in digestion, obviously. At this point in the evening, with a full stomach, just a touch of sweetness and a higher alcohol percentage is welcomed, as the drink helps our bodies settle the meal and bring everything to a close. Digestif arena options abound, from smooth whiskey and bourbon to brandy, port, sherry, and liqueur.
And this is from vinapair.com.
Yeah. Vine
pear.
Vine pear. So, whatever. I mean, you could take their word for it.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I
that
believe
somebody
you.
did some.
Everything's true on the internet.
Yeah.
So
I would call this digestif.
Sure.
I call it delicious.
Yeah, it's
There you
fucking
go.
great. I really, really, really enjoy this.
Thank you.
I would like. I'm not a I've had a bunch of brandies before. Granted, I've never had really good brandy, but I feel like this is what I'm looking for more than a brandy.
full
you know,
body,
that
yeah.
goddamn alcohol, like just
burning.
and it's just this weird kind of I don't know. It's just not pleasant to me. But this is like nice and smooth, and like, and you said it perfectly. The toasted marshmallow thing, that's the best part of it.
Yeah, it blows people away. That's like my favorite thing when I see somebody taste this that's never had mead before, or just this type of mead, and they're at an event and it's like they're tasting all these things, and they just stop everything that they're doing. They're like, wow.
It's a go wait for it moment we have. There it goes.
And I think this could be, especially for a person who likes Renaissance Fair mead, this
Yeah.
might be a good stepping stone,
Right.
Because it is a little bit on the sweeter side,
Right, exactly.
But
still complex.
Yeah,
know,
it's
not
very
like
complex.
like Carol's or whatever.
And you used Crown Maple. I'm sure you mentioned it.
Yes.
Which grade did you use?
The dark robust.
That's that one is so fucking good.
Yeah.
I got a little taster sampler for the, and I went straight to the fancy. I just got rid of that.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand.
It sucks.
It's just
it's a branding thing. It sucks.
It's just sugar syrup. It tastes like to me. It's just like simple syrup with a little bit of flavor to it, and you're not quite sure. The grade,
Well,
I like the grade B dark fucking
So-
swill at the bottom of the barrel. That
You
way.
like
So
that,
the thing is with that, the reason it's called grade A fancy is because you don't have to boil it as much. So when it comes out of the tree
Yeah,
itself, well, just I know we've probably talked
Oh,
about it.
well.
But the
people-
reason
Just don't look at me when
Yeah.
you're telling me this stuff.
Well,
Look that way.
Don't talk down to me.
I have to look at someone.
Right.
So for those that don't know, the actual term is grade A fancy, which sounds like something one of the guys from Step Brothers would come up with.
Yeah.
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 It's called grade A fancy.
Boats and hoes.
So it's the first pull out of the tree when they first start running.
Yeah.
So there's a much higher sugar content, so the sugar doesn't caramelize as much because you don't have to boil it as long. So it's actually like this color.
Yeah.
But syrup consistency. And then as you get towards the end of the run, you get into the B and C. Which is much darker and much more caramelized, which again has less fermentable sugar, so there's going to be more maple flavor coming through towards the end. So it makes sense that you would use that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you make a beer and you add brown sugar to it, you're going to get a ton of that flavor coming straight through because none of it's fermentable. Whereas if you use corn sugar, it's not going to affect the flavor at all because it's all fermentable.
It's fair. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's it. I mean,
that's the end of the lecture.
Yeah, that's the end
I
of
just
the
like
lecture.
I got
like it.
stuck.
No,
with,
that's-
I got stuck looking up like cognac because they have their
Cognac.
they have their their quality grades is VS, VSOP, XO, and hors d'age, which is VS is very special, VSOP very superior old pale. And XO is extra old, or Napoleon currently designates a blend, which is the youngest brandy is stored 6 years, and then hors d'age, which means beyond age. And it's just
that's really stupid.
Have you ever tea? Have you ever heard of like the tea? How tea is separated?
You mean tea
There's,
as
like-
in the drink, like the beverage?
Yes,
Yeah.
like just tea. Oh, hold on,
Like hot tea.
Quality.
Oh, like
grade.
the classifications of
Oh
quality.
no,
yeah.
I don't think
yeah.
I've ever seen that.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's fucking fucking
It's wild.
It's
Yeah. Really.
fucking ridiculous. I hope I find it fast.
Do they
here.
have words like ardage?
Orange pico is one of the words that they use.
Not as a flavor, but as a level.
As a level, like because my grandmother had one. It's a tea sifter. So you put your tea in the top, and then and it's all these different levels. Kind of like if you're a pot smoker or grinder.
was just
how it's
about
got
to
like so at the bottom you got your kush, your
Kush,
keef as they call it. So that's all the dust. They get rid of that shit.
Okay.
And then all the different layers have different names, have different like grades of quality. And the top quality is orange pico, and it's PEKO, Picoque or something like that. I can't
They
remember.
would be.
Yeah, I wish it's.
I wish we'd stop talking about this.
You're just sapping all the energy out of the room.
Well,
You're
anyway.
making Chris want to drink.
I just always thought that the grading system's always kinda
that's pretty
fucking
ridiculous.
strange, but I don't know. I was off on a fucking. I went down a weird side road while you guys were having
Strange
fun and
path.
drinking mead. I was
We're
looking
not
up-
having fun anymore.
Tell us more.
Oh man, we're gonna do it.
He's
Yeah,
getting
we're
too
finishing.
much. Give me some.
Oh, you want more?
Yeah.
But you have your Viking
I know.
thing. There you go.
I know you guys really steer clear of it, and it's probably better. It's definitely.
I think if I got
better
into
than
mead now, I wouldn't have bought this mead. Actually, this was
Yeah.
a gift. Now
Yeah,
that I
that's
think
all.
about it.
I mean, it is a novelty thing.
Yeah, and
There-
it was
yeah.
also I had never had a commercial mead when I got this. I was
Right.
making all my own mead.
Okay.
Well, I had, and they were all dog shit garbage.
That's the best
So,
kind of,
yeah.
homebrew mead.
I think
Well, no, mine was good.
Oh.
Everything that I had before that was dog shit garbage.
Yeah, I got you.
I mean, I've made some dog shit garbage mead, definitely for
And
sure.
just to be clear,
Yeah.
we're not
Yeah, we're
completely
not against it.
that.
No.
It's just we know that means more than that, and that's
Yeah.
what we're really trying to.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
And I
So
like
you're not into the kitschy part of it, and that's why I waited for the third time that you guys came on.
I appreciate
I feel
that.
like we're friends enough that I can.
Yeah,
be
it's
a
like
little bit.
I mean, it kind
I
of
think we can talk
you
about
drop
this now.
down a little bit.
It's actually
Because,
not as good drinking it out of this.
Yeah,
It sucks.
exactly. It tastes like a cow.
Yeah.
So no.
Well, it doesn't really taste like a cow now.
Yeah, it tastes like
but
beeswax.
the this little fucking thing on top of here is like separating a little bit,
Oh,
so it's
Oh,
like
wow.
leaking on my face. So I'm probably just gonna dump it into this glass.
There you go.
And
Do a
forego.
blend.
I'm gonna forego the mead horn probably from now
Right.
on.
It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
No, there are meaderies out there in the country that do an awesome
Yeah.
thing with the whole Viking, look and
Sure.
feel. Like Birmingham Meadery
Yes.
in Delaware they are so good, their meads. But they're like their theme is Viking, and it's awesome. And then what is it? Helderberg Mead Works up in the Albany area. They do a good job with that. But it's like you can only how many meaderies are going to open up and be
To
like
just always do that,
Viking?
yeah.
Like no,
Well,
we need to
it's
make it
medieval
mainstream.
times.
Like
and
you said,
yeah.
it's part of it, but it's more than
Right.
that.
Yeah,
and
right.
I think that's
Just
that's
like
cool.
beer, Sam
Yeah.
Adams does the whole like revolutionary times thing, but
Yeah.
they're even modern now. So it's like you can't stick
Yeah.
to that completely. It's
You
like
should also stop drinking that beer. 'cause
well,
it's
that
not
too.
good.
Yeah,
It's just not.
there's plenty of
I don't drink
Yeah,
beer
it's
anymore
plenty of-
anyway.
local. Oh yeah, right.
I had a Sam Winter the other day, dude. Dog shit.
Why are you drinking it? Why?
No, it's
Just to
because
make
somebody
sure?
ordered
Yeah.
a Sam Adams seasonal thinking it was going to be the Oktoberfest.
Gotcha.
And then they sent
Happens
it back.
every
I
Like,
hold
you
true
didn't
to the
drink
chocolate
it.
box.
Yeah.
The chocolate box, I hold true to that one. But a lot of the
I
Sams
haven't-
I don't. And that's the
haven't had
winter
it in a
season. It's
decade.
the winter seasonal. That's why.
Yeah.
The winter pack. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I was bartending at my mom's house.
Wait, so
when
if you
I
get
was
that
like,
winter pack though, you got to drink 3 fucking cherry wheats, don't you?
Oh,
They change it each year.
Yeah.
Old Fezziwig.
I got a
is
friend.
nice.
I got a friend. When we trade
Yeah.
off some of them. I'll bring a couple Old Fezziwigs, knowing I'm gonna get his chocolate box out of it. So
Okay,
it's like
that's
it's all right. I
yeah,
can deal with
there
this.
you
I'm
go.
all right.
I
with
like
it.
the old Fezziwig.
Oh, it's so
I
good.
do too.
It's the
Yeah,
only
I like
beer
that.
that
I do
really
too, but I
would
got
drink.
bartering power, so I use what I can. You know.
But you don't want the cherry wheat. We used to drink the cherry wheat when we were like fucking 16.
Oh yeah,
Oh, sure.
us too.
But
yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just saying.
No, no,
wait
it's
a
fine.
minute.
Black and
Like,
cherry.
I'm not going to buy a 12-pack to get 3 chocolate box. No fucking way.
No, that's out. Yeah, that's out. I get you.
My mom used to have this fucking knockdown, drag out Christmas party at her house every year, and she'd have me bartend. I would bartend this thing. I was like, I think I was 13 or 14 when I first was behind the bar just pouring drinks.
Yeah.
I was there, and I just was like, fuck it, let me just jump back here and see if I can make some drinks.
Yeah.
Just goofing off. And then the next year, she had me back. I probably did it 4 or 5 years in a row.
That's awesome.
And
And a good decision as a parent.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It was great, man. When I got older, it was even better. But this guy would always bring Sam Adams cream stout. And that was back when I wasn't familiar with craft beer. And I don't even think craft beer was a thing back
No,
when I was
Sam
that
Adams
age.
was the only craft beer
Yeah.
when we were in
Yeah.
our teens.
And I
Right.
just remember going, God damn, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. And he'd pour it out, and it was like thick black liquid. And I'm like, fuck, I want to try that. But I was a kid, so I
Right.
didn't want to be like, yo, let me give a beer. Put him in a bag. This fucking 40-something-year-old guy.
Yeah. Right.
So, but yeah, the stouts were always my thing with and the double bock, they did all right.
Yeah.
I don't know how it still is, but
Yeah.
Sam Adams.
Beer,
Rest in peace.
beer messes me up. I don't drink beer anymore.
That
I'm
was
not big on it.
that was the question I was gonna get to. Like,
Yeah.
you just said you don't drink beer, Chris. Yeah.
Honestly, I drift more towards more bourbons and stuff like that.
Okay.
Now these days, like it's light on the drinking on that.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a craft beer, the ones I'll go to, I love Southern Tier. I love a lot of things that Southern Tier pumps out.
Good choice.
But beyond that, more than especially, this is a nice Southern Tier option. Let me try it. I'm sticking more to the bourbons of the world and stuff, and doing that on the small batch. That's me.
What about you?
for
I mean,
me-
if I'm gonna have a beer, I like to stick local. Hudson Ale Works, I love it.
Yeah,
Like
they're
all
good.
their stuff is great.
been trying to get them on the show for so long.
Oh yeah, they're cool guys. Yeah,
Yeah, they're-
I could
they're good.
like
I'll
maybe
get
Not
put a
cool
word-
enough to come down and be
I know
on the
that's
show.
true.
I'll
That's
get like
true.
a message back and
Yeah.
let me talk to the guys and then
and then nothing happens. Yeah. We'll
But
talk. We'll
like,
talk
I
them
get
into
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
they're
if
cool
they're-
guys.
Yeah, they
make
absolutely
good
are.
stuff.
They're
Yeah.
awesome. They're
Throw
awesome
in
guys.
throw in a
Yeah.
good word that might be what does it. Just be like we've done the show 3 times. It's great.
Yeah.
You know,
Just
those guys are so awesome.
Yeah, bring
That's-
some
just
booze,
keep
they'll
saying
drink
that's-
it, and it's fun.
But
But yeah.
oh shit, I was gonna fucking. God damn it. Say Hudson Ale Works. Fucking
No beer.
no beer.
Yeah,
I had
do
something else.
Stuff with things.
Bourbon and mead is all I do. Bourbon
This
and
shit
mead.
got right
That's
on
it.
Well,
top.
I'm a
Yeah.
I'm a big bourbon fan, but I just
Yeah.
I can't drink it anymore.
Really?
I just
Really?
can't. I get too fucked up.
Really, I
Oh.
the craziest
Yeah.
thing, I
Yeah,
don't
I'm good.
really get fucked up from it.
Well, okay.
I don't
if
know
I
what
go
it
to a
is.
bar
Yeah.
and I'm paying,
Oh, yeah,
bar
you're gonna-
prices,
yeah.
I'm gonna dial it
You're
back.
regulate.
But,
Yeah. Price
you know, if I
regulation.
buy a bottle of bourbon, I go, I'm gonna drink this bourbon.
Yeah, that's what
I'll
I
drink
do.
the whole bottle.
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
like
no,
2
that's what I'll do
days.
as well.
Yeah.
But it's,
But you're
it's
like,
the strangest
but you're
thing.
like,
I'm
I'm
like,
fine
I'm
with
fine.
it. It works
Yeah,
out great.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking.
I just drive to work and it's fine.
Yeah.
Let's
No,
just
I-
seatbelted in.
I will tell you,
passenger
I had a
seat.
moment. It was Thanksgiving time. I went down
He told me.
I went down to Atlanta as my fiance's parents' house, and I realized we were playing games. Like Mexican Train is like a Domino's game. We were playing that. It's I know. I probably freaked you out when I said Mexican Train.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Keep going, Eric.
all
Keep going.
right,
Move
sure.
quicker. Move quicker.
So
Eric.
yeah,
That's
so we're
racist
playing this
and
game,
sexist.
yeah, and everybody's enjoying. And then I realized, like, oh, I had half that bottle of bourbon, and I'm the only one drinking here. And I was okay. Yeah, I'm gonna tone it back a second.
I mean, it does get easy to do.
It
And
just goes down.
It does.
You just have to be patient.
Well,
Pace
so-
yourself, and you'll get there.
So another thing is that I think a lot of people don't realize is body mass has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Like I can drink a half a bottle of bourbon in 4 hours and not feel drunk at all.
Right.
And that has very little to do with the amount that I drink. It's just the fact that I'm 3 times the size of a lot of people.
Yeah,
Right.
that definitely. But I am also of the mindset that yes, you are on a scientific level. You are drunk. However, somebody who
You're just kind of good at
like
it.
yeah, exactly. Somebody who gets to point. All right, it's 0.08's like nonsense
Yeah,
shit.
come on.
Let's 0.1.
You still shouldn't drive.
Yeah.
You should not drive.
Nope.
But you're fine, like walking around.
You're fine.
Right.
Yeah.
0.15 I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Like if you're 0.1 or I'm sorry, 0.15 and compared to somebody who drinks and then somebody who doesn't drink, like me, I'm not like a heavy drinker. I'm already fucked up.
Right.
This is going to be a problem for me to end the
We
show.
got one more.
I know. I'm aware. But for somebody, you know, my exact height, exact weight, who does drink quite a bit, you know,
Yeah.
they're like, I'm
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
I can fucking walk on my hands.
Yeah.
So it just, you know, I am part of that.
When I was in
club
college,
where it's just like, yeah, experience does play a part.
yeah,
A little
oh,
bit. I would say so.
yeah,
Yeah.
when I was in college, good friend of mine, she just goes like, I don't know if I've ever seen you drunk, and I was like, you've never seen me
weird.
sober.
You got the words wrong.
Yeah. She's just like, I'm not going to do the southern accent, but she was like, I've never seen you drunk. I was like, you get home at 5 o'clock. I get home at 3. You've never seen me sober. Ever. Not once.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just like you drink a fucking briefcase of Miller Lights every day, you know,
That'll
in
do it.
college. It just becomes normal.
It was Natty Ice for me.
Natty Ice.
Yeah, warm.
Labatt
Warm
Blue.
night.
Labatt Blue.
I told the story recently about Frankie falling asleep on that fucking.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the juxtaposition. So when I was in college, I was probably 190, 185, 190, and I was drinking 24 Miller Lights a day. Let's just for the sake of argument, it was the whole fucking suitcase. Frankie was drinking a half handle of vodka every day.
Yeah.
And working full time and double phasing. So he was taking two courses at once plus working. So he didn't sleep, but somehow managed to fit in drinking that much every day.
That's insane.
Needless to say, he was pulled over at 9 o'clock in the morning and got a DWI.
That's
something to shoot for.
That's a badge of honor in my book.
And while he was driving, he was the lights flick on. The lights flick on. The lights flick on. He goes, I'm really close to home, and I don't want to have my car towed. So he drove to the house with the cop behind him, like doing the speed limit, not high-speed chase.
Right.
But still didn't stop when the cop went to pull him over.
Yeah.
So he drove 2 miles to the house.
2 miles?
That's
yeah.
bold move.
So
That
it's
is a
like,
bold
it's
move.
9 a.m.
Was ready to shoot him in the face.
Yeah.
Actually, it was earlier than that because I was about to go to class, and my classes were at like 8:30, so it's probably like 8 in the
Holy
morning.
fucking shit.
So I'm standing outside,
Playing with fire.
and I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, well, he's definitely getting arrested.
Yeah.
But if I
How it's gonna happen.
I can only miss 2 classes before I get in trouble because I went to a tech school, so it was the weird word. It was very weird.
My school, same thing.
Yeah, it was like if you missed 2 classes,
all-
you were fine, but then if you missed a third, you got a huge grade hit,
It's
and then
all
if you missed a
absent
4th, you failed.
focused.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with my
Yeah.
school. They
So
just smash
they
you
were
over the head if you
like
didn't
3
show up.
week, They were like 3-week-long classes, and you were at school like 5-6 hours a day. And he was doing seriously 2 classes back to back most phases, and still working. So he was at school for 10 hours a day, and then he'd work a 6-hour shift, and then he had the other 8 hours to fucking sleep and drink.
Yeah.
So he just chose drinking.
Yeah.
Well, the story I was, I went down to visit them, him. Really, I say them because it was a couple people in the place. But we were up late one night, and I look over, and in this lazy boy, Frankie is like this. He's got. Here, I'll use this as this. This is a 40-ounce bottle of Old English ale.
Oh,
I don't
English.
know if you guys have ever had
of course
Old
we
English.
Edward
Yeah.
40
Liquor.
hands, right?
Yeah.
It's wonderful, wonderful. Toasted marshmallow flavor.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, just like Queen's Crown.
But anyway, he's got the 40 in his right hand, and it's resting on the arm of the lazy boy, and it's one of those big overstuffed ones, and he's like this.
I've seen that look.
He's
Totally,
slumped
like,
over to
slumped
his,
over.
the beer's in his right. He's slumped over to his left, like
And it's
almost
pretty
like
full. Like he shouldn't have opened
yeah,
it.
it's it's 3/4 full, and
Yeah.
he's about
He's
to fall
holding it up.
out of it, but he's still got the fucking
Nice.
thing in his hand.
That's exceptional.
This guy goes up to him and tries to, and he doesn't do anything. All he does is grab the neck of the bottle and start to pull it out of his grip. It gets to about halfway, and Frankie snaps out of it, slaps his hand away. Goes, what the fuck are you doing? And then leans back, takes a sip, and promptly passes out again.
Nice.
Still in the same spot.
That is high
And he was just like,
functioning.
well, fuck him. I'm going to leave him. I don't give a
Yeah,
shit.
it's not my chair.
No.
It wasn't my chair.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, the biggest part of that is like people didn't want to come to our house for parties because the whole place smelled like stale beer because of shit like that.
That's, yeah.
It did smell
Understandable.
very bad.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
A bunch of fucking 20-year-old guys in an apartment.
Yeah.
800
brings
square
me
foot
back.
apartment for fucking $700 a month. No, 1,700 square foot apartment for $800 a month.
I'm sure it wasn't 800 square foot for $1,700 a month.
No,
That would be a better
it
story.
was the other way around. Yeah,
Nice.
it was a gigantic apartment for no fucking
no-
money.
yeah.
It would have been $3,000 here in Poughkeepsie.
Yeah, I believe it.
It was insane.
Wow.
Which is on the up and up.
Yes, it is. You can tell.
Soon
awesome.
apartments will be very expensive.
Yeah.
You guys are due
with our arts.
I told.
Hammered
What did I
us.
say? What did I just say? Like
Yeah, no,
5
you're at
minutes
least
Did
ago?
you
Yeah,
guys
back it
have
up.
arts on the wall of your brewery?
The breweries.
All the arts.
I read it on the internet.
And you have the tasting room and every.
We do. Actually, yeah, good. Yeah, good
I've
point.
never been there,
No, you haven't. Thanks a lot.
and I don't know how
to get there.
to get there. Or
here's
I
the
want to
thing.
go to there.
Here's the thing. We're currently located in Pleasant Valley. It is off of West Road. We don't have set open hours, at least within this year in 2018. What we're working on right now, it's still all in the works. That we would be moving and expanding our operations.
Yes.
So that's
You guys
the
should buy baby
excitement.
cakes. It's only like $150,000.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
Yeah.
totally. per month, right?
Hey, they're doing renovations.
Yeah,
I know.
they're
I saw that.
renovating.
They're renovating.
So, yeah,
yes.
it'd be perfect.
Yeah,
for you.
we'd be right around the corner.
Yeah.
No, we are looking into some locations that are like Poughkeepsie based. Like you said, it is on the up. It's definitely turning around. It's awesome to see. So we're working on that now. Hopefully by January time, we'll have some more info and we'll share it with everybody.
I'll
on
write down
all the
January time.
Yeah,
too.
January time.
I already wrote down Thanksgiving time.
Everything time.
All the time.
All the time.
All the times, man.
Write down all the time. Yeah. So yeah, we're sort of working on that now. It's pretty exciting, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the time being, we'll be we're in Pleasant Valley,
and it's kind of like what do you call up? Or do you show
Yeah,
up and
no,
knock on your
honestly,
door and you like fight
you
the
can
dogs
try
back?
that.
My kids are running around.
No dogs, yeah. I mean, there could sometimes I bring my dogs there, but no. I mean, it. We all work full time.
Yep.
We're there on the weekends sometimes, but there's a reason why we don't do set open hours quite yet because we had all these events that are on the weekends. And it's like we couldn't just like commit to it. So every now and then we'll have like a pop up thing where we'll be there. For the end of this year, honestly, we'll be at Adams, and that'll probably be it. We'll take a break during the holidays and then get right back into it in January. So, this past Saturday, I had, somebody stop by. It was a private thing, and then it just so happened that somebody that lived in Salt Point stopped by. They had no idea what our hours were or anything because we have no hours. And he just showed up right before I was going to leave, but I stuck around for him. So it's one of those things. Like, but
did he buy anything? The cheap fuck?
He did.
Oh,
yeah,
never mind.
He's a nice guy.
Shout out to that nice guy.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. No, but people will reach out by email, phone, whatever, and they want to do like a quick tasting or whatever, and we'll do it. A group or even just one person.
And that's why we encourage people to follow us on social media because we post those occasional hours we have open. We always let people know.
Right.
Awesome. Well, if you guys ever want to do just open mic, just come by and do a tasting.
Yeah. No, it's always fun to go to craft.
Let us know because
it's kind of our new thing now. We were just
because we've already got kind of a built-in audience and we were trying to roll out like a Friday night thing, and it was just kind of trying to build two things at once was too much. But yeah, like I said, if we've got your stuff on tap or in cans or whatever, if you guys just want to, if you're free on a Thursday night, just fucking come in, do a tasting.
I'm free at all times. That is not the
at
truth.
all times.
At all times.
Well, it's good. It's good that you're looking in Poughkeepsie.
We are, yeah,
because
for sure.
I was just talking to someone about someone who, my cousins-in-law, my co-cousins-in-law,
co-sisters-in-law's cousins,
so friends,
well,
people.
They're both female, and they're my wife's cousins, and my wife's cousin and her girlfriend. And they're moving here.
Yeah, so your co-cousins.
Co-cousins.
We're gonna call
but
them
they're
friends.
not married. Sorry.
Yeah,
but are they getting married?
Their
His family's super confusing.
Yeah, it sounds like
they're moving up from the city into Poughkeepsie because they one of them grew up here, but the other one was just amazed by the town, like loves the area, the Hudson Valley, Poughkeepsie especially, which is kind of crazy. But at the same time, it was fun to watch her excitement over this whole thing. And then when they were out at King's Court, they ran into Rob Rollison, the mayor.
Oh yeah.
And he ran under the Republican ticket, so my initial reaction to that is nah. But I will say this guy, he's won my vote for the next next election because he's done a ton of shit for the city. First Friday was his fucking baby.
Local Republicans are usually fine.
Yeah.
Butch Anderson's had my vote since I moved to Poughkeepsie.
Well, yeah,
that's fucking great.
Yeah. But he's done so much, and she got to talking with him, and he's like pumping up everything. So now she's all geeked up because she wants to start a business here too.
Oh, yeah.
So it's nice to see people excited about the area, and especially if we get you guys in, because I heard rumor that a sake distillery is coming is moving in.
Yeah,
very
they're
soon.
working on that. Yeah, it's
But
crazy.
so
I don't know if that's just a rumor. I think
it's not a rumor. It's
legit.
happening.
There's a lot of fact
It's
behind it.
I don't.
$26
but I don't
million
know what
deal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's insane.
for real.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how loud it was, but
well, we'll need another alcoholic beverage place in that area because
Yeah.
one is gone now. So,
oh boy,
yeah. Well, we won't talk about that.
we can
Wait,
dish.
what area?
We can
Right
dish.
in Hyde
after the
Park
show.
on Route 9.
I want to mute
Yeah.
the mics.
Mute the mics. We
Okay.
can talk about that.
We're not holding it back, are we? That's okay. That was in the paper. We can
It
talk
was
about
in the
that.
paper.
What did you
Yeah,
say?
it's out there.
I just didn't want to be.
Yeah. Oh, I should pull it up
It
so I
just
don't
made
get
me
my
think of
fucking
it.
numbers wrong.
Yeah. Well, the stats are crazy. But, I mean, I believe.
Yeah,
it.
90% of the 200 people that were in there were underage.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Tip your
You
doorman.
know what? I'm just,
Holy shit!
Yeah, that's insane.
So I'm just gonna. I'll throw it out there.
That's
'cause
like
I'm
the
pretty
pub in
I'm
Hot
pretty
Fuzz.
sure.
Yeah.
So local folks, which is everyone except for the couple people that are listening in fucking Indonesia or something.
In 6-minute increments.
Yeah. So Darby's
Yeah.
in Hyde Park.
Sad.
This happened. It's not sad. They deserved it. They should all fucking go to jail. What are you doing?
I'm sarcastic.
So yeah, 77 counts of 77 people with fake IDs in the bar. There was upwards of 200 patrons, 90% of which were under 21, which is not illegal. They can do 18 to party,
Yeah,
21
yeah,
drink,
sure.
whatever.
Gotcha.
But 77 people with fake IDs or like admitted to underage drinking, and there was like something like 50 or 60 observed cases of them serving underage people before they shut it down.
They fucking smashed
Yeah.
him.
And they arrested all 3 bartenders. Yeah.
I believe it. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. Dude, it's fucking scary.
Yeah.
Especially, like, we work at a place that is not a bar, but we serve alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you go, did you ID that person? And sometimes it's like, oh, fuck, I probably should have, right? It's an easy mistake to make.
You, somebody hit me. It was you.
Yeah.
The other day.
I was like,
She
did you ID her?
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
She comes to open mic. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and
So it's cool if you know, but it's like,
Right.
I don't know that you know.
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
it's a
No,
good
no,
idea
it's-
to, you know, and
But-
now.
It's something like Darby's where it's a bouncer and you got Marist college kids coming off of buses.
Yeah,
and it's
that's
like,
the craziest fucking
know,
part is that the
Yeah.
Marist transit, like they have a shuttle system
Yeah,
at
for
Marist.
the 18.
Yeah.
And it stops at Darby's?
It stops wherever you want to go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
You want to go stop and shop?
So you wait for the shuttle. You get into the shuttle. You tell them, "Hey, you know, I'm going to the supermarket or I'm going to
Oh my
a
God,
bar to
whoever
drink
owned
my
that place
fucking face
fucked up
off."
so bad.
Yeah, but
Fucked up
Marist is
so
not going to
bad.
get any fucking.
No.
Marist isn't going to get any pushback from this.
No,
It's-
no,
it's-
no.
Because
No,
they
it's all-
technically didn't do anything wrong,
No,
but they
yeah.
probably should have a policy where you don't drop
Maybe.
students off at bars.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's a big one.
Probably.
Yeah. But I mean, Darby's. We've gone to Darby's a few times. No,
Oh, I've been
not
there many
you.
times.
I've never set foot in that place.
Yeah.
A lot more when I was
Cool
younger.
I used
place.
to go to
Great
Darby's with Heather and Jay Fulham. I went there a couple times
Okay.
with them. They go there because it's like 2 seconds from their house. It's
Yeah.
like less than a mile.
Never
away.
set foot in that place.
I worked
Yeah, but I
there
used to go
back-
there with like
You
old.
worked there?
Yeah.
Not worked there, but worked there.
Well, yeah, because you
Back
got
in
arrested.
college. Yeah, I wouldn't
And they closed
be
down.
here right now.
Yeah, that's
I don't know what it's like 15 years ago. I don't know. 12 years ago. Yeah.
And how many of fucking underage kids did you
Well, it's all
serve?
college kids. Well, no, I didn't serve anybody.
No,
I was
not at
working.
all,
I was working
allegedly.
my ass off as a bar back.
Oh,
yeah, so
there
I
you
had
go.
no
You're good.
responsibilities except for cleaning up.
That's the fucked up thing is like you're kind of in a weird industry where you can make a lot of money and you're
Mhm.
incentivized to do that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's kind of your boss that's saying it's cool, even though it's illegal.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like you shouldn't serve underage
No,
people.
no.
If you make a legit mistake, you should
Right.
get a slap on the wrist.
Yep.
But from what I've heard, most people that get arrested for this kind of thing, part of their plea deal is they can never bartend again.
Yeah. That's
So there
rough.
goes your fucking career.
Yeah, because
Sure.
yeah.
And
It's a lot of
yeah,
work.
like I know people probably don't respect bartending as a career, but you can make $100,000 a
Yeah,
year as a
It's a
bartender.
legitimate career for sure.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So
I call it a career. I know
Yeah.
somebody who's made a career off of it.
yeah, I mean, like
you can
I
make some income off it,
I
sure.
just started working as a bartender in not a very busy place, and it's not really a bar; it's more of a restaurant. And I make like $30,000 a year with no experience.
That's a career.
So there's a lot of people that come out of fucking college $200,000 in debt that don't make more than that for 10 years. So it's like if half our clientele were underage, like how would I go? Well, I'm not serving these people.
I
It is a
card
tough
fucking
situation.
everybody because there's so many Vassar students coming through that
especially
place.
there.
Everybody gets a
Yeah,
goddamn
when you're in
card.
college town facilities, that's a responsibility. you have
Unless
to
you're
take
fucking
on.
old. If you look fucking old, you're not getting carded.
But
I mean, let's be honest.
Sometimes
You
like
look
these-
fucking old. You look fucking old. You look fucking
A
old.
lot
I'm
of
not
these
getting carded.
bars
I'm
make
great,
their
man.
fucking.
Great.
A lot of these people make their fucking living off of looking the
Uh,
other way.
sure,
Right,
I
this
get
is
it.
true.
Yeah.
The bar that I used to frequent in North Carolina, Exit 36.
Oh God.
Rest in peace. It is no longer. It is now a fucking boat dock.
Nice.
Somebody bought the property, tore down the building, and it's now a boat launch.
It's very sad because it was a cool
yeah,
place.
so I went there every day for 18 months. Then I turned 21. I had my birthday. There. Everyone knew me. And like my favorite fucking waitress was like, "How old are you?" I was like, "I'm 21." And she was like, "Oh, thanks."
Yeah.
She was super pissed.
I bet.
Yeah.
That's happened to me
But
before.
it's like you never even asked me for my ID.
Yeah,
what the
it's
fuck
their-
am I
it's their
supposed to
fault.
do?
Yeah.
You probably should have ID'd me
Right.
at
Right.
some
Right.
point in the last almost
Right.
2 years.
Yeah.
So
I
you
know
got-
it's not. I know you.
Yeah.
You got your first beer at that place, and you walked away, and you were like, you were just totally fine. It was just, you know.
Yeah. Well, I had like a beard.
Yeah. It was par
Yeah.
for the course. But like, I want to know. I want to be in the person's head that goes in that place. They move down to North Carolina. They go to the Technical Institute, and they go to that. Everybody's like, "You got to come to this bar. It's great." "Oh, I can't drink. It'll be fine. Just order a beer. You'll be fine." They go to.
You're like,
I'll have a bottle of Bud. I'll have a bottle of Budweiser
With the hops.
And they go, "Here you go. That'll be $3.50." Okay.
Yeah.
You walk away. You're like,
Oh, and it was $3.50 too.
Yeah.
That's the best part.
That's
was
great.
that accurate?
I believe
Yeah,
it.
pretty close. Yeah.
And 2 days later, you're buying Browns for everybody.
Everyone.
Right.
It's on me.
Well,
fuckers.
the funny thing was, it was so flippant down there that we picked that bar because they had Yingling and Sam
Oh,
Adams.
right. Okay.
Everywhere else, you could. This is fucking Mooresville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
It's Race City, USA.
Everywhere
it's
else.
Budweiser, Bud Light, Coors, and Coors Light. That's it.
On
if
tap.
you saw Michelob, you were like, "Fucking A, this place is fancy."
Yeah. Mick Ultra.
Yeah. And then we go into this like sports bar / pool hall that was 2 miles from the house, and we see Yingling, and I was like, "That's from the Northeast." Wow. Awesome. And people went nuts for it because it was like real beer. It was-
Right.
but even now, it's not even considered real beer. It's like whatever. Fuck that beer. That's some bullshit they've been making for 200 years. Apparently,
yeah.
Yeah.
Bunch
Even
of
though
fucking
even though
liars.
They shut down during Prohibition for sure. So yeah, so that was why we went there, because they had Yingling and fucking
Right,
they had
right.
a couple of real beers. You could get
Makes
Boston
sense.
Lager and Oktoberfest and shit
Yeah.
like that, and it was $3. But yeah, drank there for 18 months before I turned 21.
Yep.
And then had the audacity to have my
To show
21st
your
birthday
ID.
party.
yeah, to celebrate it.
Yeah.
That's great.
It was like, she's
Take
like,
notes, kids.
How old are you? I was like, I'm 21, Candace. She's like, you're 21 today. You turned 21 today.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
We all had our
Thanks
favorite
for ruining
establishment. We did that.
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
All of us had
Yeah,
it.
like she wasn't that mad. It was fine.
Not that.
No, she made a big show of it, but
Right.
yeah, it was.
Well, because she had to.
She
blame her?
felt
Yeah.
kind of stupid,
Right.
I think.
Right.
But she never fucking ID'd us.
Yeah, no,
like,
I mean,
what-
it is
like,
kind of on.
Yeah.
on
It's more
her.
You could have just
indignant
asked for
than
her
anything,
ID
you know?
Yeah.
18 months ago. I mean, I don't know what to
Right.
tell you.
Yeah.
And then I wound up working there for a little while.
Nice.
And then you
Yeah.
found somebody
And
having
then
their 21st
Then I
birthday.
drank for free for like another year.
Here, give me some.
You
more.
ripped that.
Give me
place.
some more mead.
You got it. Yeah.
Let's ID that, please.
Yeah. Do you guys
Take a look
remember
at that, please.
chalking IDs?
Does anybody still have the old
the old one,
fucking
no, I got
ID?
that one.
I
I
do.
still got one.
I
too.
do at
This is
home.
the-
I have
the-
mine at home.
The
old one.
fucking chalk
Yeah,
one
probably.
that you.
Yeah, the old one.
Yeah, I still have one of those because I got an enhanced
This was the
ID.
best.
So
I
it's
got
gonna be
my
like
enhanced
five
This was
more
the
years
shit because
before
you
it,
see my date of birth,
expires.
1983.
Nice picture.
Change that to 1980.
I watched Adam. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. He had like a magnifying glass and a can of hairspray, and he took the hairspray and he dipped his tooth. He like sprayed it so it was like a pool. Dipped his toothpick in it and dotted out the fucking
and
3.
You use colored pencils.
Yeah.
too.
He dotted out the
that
center
level.
bit of the 3, and then he took his black colored pencil and he just like.
It was a red colored pencil because we were under 21.
Oh, it was red at the time.
Yeah, because when you're under 21, your date is in red.
That's right.
I learned this visiting a friend who is a couple years older than me. I went to karate with them, and yeah, they were a couple years older than me.
Yeah.
So she went to college in Albany. We go all the way up there, and she goes, "Give me your driver's license."
Right.
And her roommate fucking did all of that and turned the 83 into an 80. And I was like, this is the most... They don't care that it says under 21. She's like, no, if anyone asks, you just say you lost your new ID and you're just using this one. And I was like, doesn't everyone say that, though? And
So
she's like, it
smart.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, so we go to the bar, we do all that shit, and then you turned 18 a month later, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking do that same thing.
And we sure did.
Sure did.
We sure did. I kept it for a long time, and then I destroyed it
I probably
promptly.
still have it. I'm gonna find
When
mine.
I got older, I was like, Jesus, what was I thinking? Find me.
The cops are on me.
Dude, I guarantee I still have mine. I guarantee it. I definitely still. I will bring it in. We'll talk about it next week. I guarantee I still have mine.
He went to get
But
his,
it says under 21 in giant letters. And you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, you know, it's I got a new one, and they're like, well, like any smart person who actually cares would go, well, this doesn't expire for 2 more years, so you're lying.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Not a lot of smart people out there.
College towns.
Oh, and we used to when I was even before that, when I was 16 or 17. So my ID wouldn't have, like 1980 would have only gotten me to get cigarettes, like I couldn't get, and lottery tickets, I guess. But we had a hologram printer in our advanced media class, and we made Florida State IDs.
Yeah.
All right.
That worked pretty well, but I
Yeah.
got that one taken away by a cop at Darby's in New Paltz when I was 17, 18.
Yeah.
Darby's?
Not Darby's.
No, yeah.
O'Brien's?
O'Brien's, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
probably
Irish pub.
O'Brien's. It's just spelled,
O'Brien's. I don't know. It's
just spelled Irish.
Spelled differently. Yeah,
Yeah.
when I was 16, I did the Bleecker Street thing,
Nothing
go
like
down
that.
to the city and get a Vermont ID, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, it's not even a driver's license, you know, that sort of thing.
It's
Piece
a
of paper.
non-driver ID.
Yeah, a piece of paper. No, it's like
Laminated.
it looks fake to begin with. I remember it worked a lot, but then there was one time I was in Rhode Island and I tried it, and she looked at it and she was just like, no, and then just gave it back to me. I was like, oh, okay. And
The
then I
giving
walked
it
out
back
and
to you
changed.
is pretty nice.
That was
though.
nice.
Oh,
She was
yeah.
just like, I'm
That
not
was
doing
nice.
this.
Yeah,
yeah.
'cause I would probably do that.
Yeah.
Because-
Who's gotten
like,
caught
if
with
somebody-
a fake ID? Like literally the bouncer was like, fuck you. Anybody?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't think I ever.
Yeah, when I got mine.
Besides,
taken,
like,
yeah, when
yours-
I
Yeah,
got
no,
it,
that was like at a liquor store, I think. But yeah, at a
yeah,
bar.
the one
Well,
at
anywhere.
Yeah,
the
I got
one
you.
at what the fuck was it? New Paltz. The guy was like, "This is a fake ID."
Yeah.
And
What
like,
did he say?
He said, "This is a fake ID. I'm calling the police."
That's
and
crazy to take it
yeah,
so
he
long.
wouldn't let me leave. And
Really?
I was like, "You can't fucking keep me here
Yeah.
for the. You're not a fucking cop." And he
Right.
wouldn't let me leave. And the cops came, and he was like, "I can't arrest him." He's like, "All I can do is take it away."
Yeah.
Especially because the cop was like, "Well, I'm sure the cop in the back of his head was thinking like, well, if I arrest him for having a fake ID, which isn't really it's like a fine. It's not really an
Yeah,
arrest.
they'll just fine you.
I'd have to arrest you for detaining a minor
Yeah. Right.
illegally.
Yeah. You were.
So I
holding
think
him,
like,
yeah.
and I didn't realize this at the time. I was like 17.
Hmm.
But that was probably what went through the cop's
Yeah,
head. It's
yeah,
just
like,
like the bouncer's going to go to fucking prison
For
Yeah,
kidnapping.
all
for
this.
kidnapping a minor.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
yeah.
paperwork here. I don't want to do this tonight.
All fucking night.
I'm
My wife's
7
already
yeah.
on me.
But like I'm 17 years old. It's like, am I gonna call my dad and ask for advice? Like I didn't really
Your dad
know what
was
I was
just
doing
like,
at the time.
Yeah.
punch him in the throat and run.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is, had I fucking said you need to let me call my dad would have been like, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
If you call the police right now, I will put you in jail. So it probably would have worked out better, but I would have gotten in a lot more trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the
you know,
trade-off.
yeah, my Florida ID got lost to some police officer back
Yeah.
in fucking what 19. 99, 2000.
Mm-hmm.
I remember posting up.
Man, we're
I was
old.
sitting in the car, keeping lookout while he was buying beer illegally.
Oh,
You
with
were the
my
dri- you were the
manufactured
getaway?
Duchess ID.
Killarney's Red Ale
yeah.
and Lakeport Canadian Malt.
Lakeport Canadian Malt
Delicious.
Liquor.
Oh, the finest.
Yes.
We had walkie-talkies, and I was just
Yeah.
like, "Cop!"
Wow.
Never mind, he drove past. Continue.
Yeah,
Over.
we were really weird.
Yeah.
Stupid.
But I
But
mean,
you have
totally
fun with
stupid. Yeah, we had like CB radios in our cars before there were like cell phones.
Speaking of CB radios, can I have some more mead?
Oh, what are we
All
doing
right,
here?
So this one is it's an experiment mead.
Oh boy!
You
Hold
like-
on,
you like-
hold on,
Okay.
hold on.
Santa Claus shit. Holy Santa
a
Claus.
Dead
beat you to
Radio
it. I beat you to it.
exclusive.
Don't
Dead
do it.
Radio
Turn yours off.
exclusive.
It's doubly amazing.
So to give you a background on what I'm doing right now is I'm experimenting with buckwheat honey. Eastern buckwheat honey is ridiculously dark and just insane amount of flavors coming out of it. There's a difference. You ask like a meadery out in the West Coast, they'll say Western buckwheat is completely different. And it's true. Eastern buckwheat, like you open up the lid, it's like molasses. It's just like ridiculously dark honey.
My wife's favorite honey is the
buckwheat.
buckwheat
Nice.
honey. Yeah, absolutely.
And contrary to what it sounds like, it's actually gluten-free still.
Yeah.
Even though it's buckwheat, it's like, it's still honey.
Well,
It's not
buckwheat
like
is naturally gluten free.
Yeah, it's actually a
Even
great
if-
alternative as a gluten-free product.
But
yeah.
like honey, it's not like even if it was wheat honey.
Yeah.
If that
It's
were a
honey.
possibility,
It's the pollen, yeah.
It's still it's not
Right.
the same thing.
Right.
Yeah,
But,
right.
some people get
Yeah.
worried. They're like, wait,
Some people are really
buckwheat?
stupid.
Yeah.
Some
No, it's
people
all
are
good.
very, very stupid. Yeah.
So yeah, I always want to make that clear. But so I've been experimenting with that. I've been adding different ingredients into it. This particular one, it's hazelnut and cocoa nibs.
Oh.
With
Okay,
a
so
little,
if you have a nut allergy,
yes, you
Yeah.
do want to
that's a
stay
thing.
away from that.
Watch your
yeah.
nuts.
Right, watch your
yeah,
nuts.
watch your nuts.
Ooh, it's dark.
It's very dark. So this is a bochet as well. Like Queen's Crown. We did caramelize the honey on this one. And similar to like the Cornerstone, the coffee mead, we
Smells like a
added
beer.
Yeah, actually that's what I was gonna say. It has an ale-like quality to it. I
He's
used a
definitely
different
pouring
yeast.
me less because of the.
No. There you go, bud. So it has an ale-like quality to it. We used a different yeast strain compared to most of what we use.
Smells great, right?
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, a lot of hazelnut comes through on this. And the yeast that we use is called CY7039, which sounds real sexy.
It really
I
rolls
know.
off the tongue.
I know. It's just, but it's like an ale type yeast.
Oh no! That was the wrong button.
No.
The button that I wanted to hit was this one.
HCLNGN2MENDXRKKBO6COBBL5FGFURSBF. What is that? G17? That pot strain that the government was using? Yeah, like they call it like G17.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the government was working on it. And
Right.
This is the strain.
Pineapple Express.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
so full of shit. Wow, this is wild.
Yeah, you get crazy hazelnut up front. The cocoa nibs start to really come through to kind of smooth it out.
Okay, this needs to be a mixer in a cocktail.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's very earthy.
Yeah. And it's most likely, because it's raw hazelnuts that were boiled to extract a lot of that flavor out.
Okay.
And then it was added in, just like the coffee beans, we added it in like on the third rack or fourth rack. And that was on for like 5 days with the cocoa nibs that were toasted, and then took them out, let it age out a little longer. So
Yeah, this is really interesting.
Yeah.
It's not as heavy as the Queen's Crown.
No.
It's more like the Cornerstone, to be perfectly
Yeah,
honest. Like
I can see that.
mouthfeel.
Way bigger though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
a
it's
lot of
like
flavors,
it's a
Right.
punch in the face flavor wise.
Yeah.
I don't even know where I could put this. Like, it's not
really
like
its own thing.
it's not like it just stands alone. It's you could drink this with. It's a dessert kind of thing, but not at the same
really.
time.
Yeah.
You know.
It's exactly what it sounds like. If you take the absence of like a sweetness, it's just like a Ferrero Rocher, like the candy. Because you have that hazelnut chocolate.
all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you get that Buckwheat's always funny with me because I can eat it. So whenever I see it, I do like just get it if it's available. But I don't really like it all that much because
it has
it's
a particular flavor. Yeah,
it's a very strong earthy flavor, and honestly, for me, the definition of earthy flavor is buckwheat.
Yeah.
I made buckwheat pancakes. I've made buckwheat bread. I've made Brooke puts buckwheat in everything. I have to fucking complain about it. It's like, listen,
so I touched a sensitive point here.
I really love that.
A little too earthy.
There's 12 people in the entire country who've had to confront their wife about how much buckwheat they put in their food.
And he's one of them.
And I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Get the badge.
I mean, it has that look. Buckwheat honey has that earthy look to it.
Oh yeah, it's dark. It's like almost like.
It's like molasses.
Yeah, it's molasses. It's almost like a purpley color too.
Yep. It's cool though
when you bake with it.
Yeah.
She actually made a loaf of buckwheat bread and a loaf of cornbread and chopped and specifically just to make stuffing for Thanksgiving.
That's awesome.
But
That's awesome.
and she did that. She was gonna make all buckwheat, but she knew that I had a hang up about it. But it's a good flavor in moderation. But if there's too much, it's just like it's off-putting.
Yeah.
This I can taste it in there, but it's not like
too much.
Making me run away from it.
Right,
I think it's probably the chocolate for sure kind of levels it off.
Okay.
But this is very. Is there more in there?
There's more. Yeah.
So I know what I would do with this.
Very limited.
And this is something we could do a crafted cup. Yeah. Ice cold, yes, absolutely. Ice cold cream. Pour a shot of espresso on top of that, and then float this on top of that.
Yeah.
And then shoot the whole thing down.
That would be delicious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something that we could do at Crafted Cup.
Right.
So if you ever do a full run of this,
for sure. This is a prototype. I did a 5-gallon carboy with it.
If you do a full run of this, let me, because Tanner's been talking about since I started there, doing cocktail-inspired coffee drinks. And this would be perfect for that.
Yes.
So if you did, super cold right out of the fridge, cream or half and half, maybe half ounce of that, shot poured on top of that, and then float this on top of that, and then knock the whole thing back.
I could see that
in not a highball. What is that? Like a double shot glass?
Right. Is this
the
oaked?
tall.
Yeah,
it's not oaked. it's just
still lingering oak from that. Other one.
Maybe, well, I mean, that hazelnut.
I think it's the nuttiness.
It's the
nuttiness.
I mean, there was a lot of hazelnuts that were put into this, and for 5 days just soaking. So that'll make a big difference.
This is
some lactose
is wild,
in this
man.
as well.
I like it.
I'm glad you like it. Yeah. Yeah, I have another 45 pounds of buckwheat to see, what else can be done with it. So I'm looking into maybe doing a salted caramel blend to see what. It's really it's just I'm trying to think of ways to make baker-inspired sort of things. Yeah, but not making them crazy sweet like it's only dessert.
They make the gozes now. The salt beers, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah,
I did actually add some
Mead.
pinch of salt in this as well.
Yeah,
that brings out some of that flavor. The nuttiness really came out from that too.
Yeah, it's super. It's very strong. Flavor.
Yeah,
and it's definitely not. Honestly though, I could drink. I could have another glass. It's not. It's not.
Oh yeah, I put away a whole can, no problem.
Like that.
Yeah. It's 10%. It's a strong.
Oh, so it is
10%,
more. It's more like a stronger mead then.
Right. But it has that, like you said, when I poured it, you're like, it smells like an ale almost. It has that quality
really
to
does,
it, almost
man.
like a beer.
It smells like a. It just smells like a rich beer.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like you could have a beer without the gluten.
It's okay.
And
do you have more of this done?
There's a few cans. Yeah, I mean, I'm keeping. I'm actually trying to save it for competitions and stuff like that.
Just give it to me.
Okay.
All
right.
Stop being a bitch.
I'm not trying to pressure.
Not
you.
gonna save it. No,
I'm just saying.
We're gonna make more.
If you're just like, I still have 3 gallons left.
Yeah.
That would be something where I would say, give me another can. We'll do some experiments.
Oh yeah, I'll
give
you another can.
But I really think that, especially with a fucking twist of orange.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what a
that'd be really
good name for the cocktail would be? The Busy Beaver, because that's the name of the mead.
The Busy Beaver.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I
that's
definitely
good.
I like Tanner. Like I said, the day that I was interviewed was talking about doing cocktail inspired coffee drinks, and it's gotten so busy
Like
that
a
to
beaver.
do.
Yeah. He made me
busy
like
a beaver.
He made me like a like espresso tonic and something or other,
so
and I was like,
good.
"Fucking hey, man,
Yeah.
this is great."
That sounds good.
And
It was basically he used the name escapes me. It's a tonic, like a concentrate.
Yeah.
And you add it to
Right.
seltzer.
Right.
And then you just pull a shot of espresso on top of
Yeah.
that. It was fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it sounds good.
Fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
And this was before we had a beer license. So
Yeah.
now with something like this,
Mhm.
we can add kind of an alcohol element
Yeah.
to it. And I really think that if we did something like what I just said before, just because he was doing experiments with the super cold cream and espresso on top of that, and you just do a shot,
Yeah.
and it's kind of layered.
Right.
If you did something like that with this, I think that would
Be pretty sweet.
It'd be really awesome. I don't think we'd sell a ton of it, but
Yeah, but
it would
nice
be
touch.
Yeah, Bosch and I would get fucking
You
two a
guys
day.
be the one.
we got we've just gotten so fucking busy. It's just
Yeah.
not plausible.
It's
at
good
this
stuff,
point.
though.
Like, we
That's
had-
Well, we
good-
talked
good
about doing
thing.
a slow bar with
Yeah.
pour over coffee and shit like
Yeah,
that. It's
yeah.
Now it's just we just don't have time for
Right.
it.
Right.
It would have to be
People coming flying in there.
$16.
Yeah.
to justify it.
Right.
So
Yeah, you make a lot. You make an RPG, you put it up, you call it the Mike. Is this mine? I'm sorry,
Are you
Mike?
fucking Mike?
No, I'm
You
Betty.
don't look like Mike.
I'm Betsy. Get the fuck out of my face, Betsy. This is from Mike. Mike.
Now I know how you feel when I drop off a case and I'm standing there like, get the fuck out of the way.
you're like, hey man, I'd really love to talk to you, but I need you to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I always feel bad because I show up at like 11 or 12 o'clock and it's like the busiest time.
Yeah, and
I
always
don't. There's no other way to do it.
My hair's
It
like
seems
fucking
like-
fucked
It's
up.
like
It's
that's
not
how it
my
works.
pomp
Yeah.
is falling.
Yeah. I'm just like, I really want to network with this person for my podcast because who gives a shit about this coffee shop? But I can't do that
No.
because I have 17 people in mind.
Right.
And some assholes holding the door open
Yeah.
at 10 degrees.
Yeah. Oh, that was me the other day. I was talking to you. I was holding on. I gotta go. These people are freezing.
This is yeah, man.
Yeah.
These
If you could,
the
if you
Bouchers
have
are
like
just
one more
insane.
can, I'll give you $26 for it. So that
One
we-
can?
You one can.
Yeah.
I'll give you $26 for
How
it.
about 28? No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
it's gonna be
no, I'll give you a can.
$26.
I'll give you a can. All right, 26.
$26.
So
And then we'll do some experiments.
Yeah,
But I
that'd be awesome.
really think that an espresso based dairy drink.
yeah,
is
imagine
really-
on nitro.
Oh yeah.
This on
Yeah.
nitro would be insane.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
Almost fitting.
Be like
just I'm picturing a layered shot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just cascading.
Yeah.
Just
So if
Delicious.
you did heavy cream at the bottom,
Crafted cup.
so anyway.
layered shot. So one of those tall shot glasses, like tall double shot glasses, right?
Like
heavy
the ones
cream,
that
ice
like
cold
tell
heavy
you
cream.
how drunk you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Pull a shot of espresso on top of that. So you're talking at that point like an ounce and a half.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And then
That
fill
on
it
top.
with this on top.
Put vanilla ice cream.
Well, that's
Plop
not
of
gonna work in
vanilla
a
ice
shot
cream,
glass.
and then it just splashes out.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
No, that doesn't work.
No, I think you just take that and shoot the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do
Or
two and
just-
then
I
go to
would
work,
love
right?
it. Yeah.
Do two and go to work. Whatever.
Yeah.
man.
Or we just
It'd be
grab the
perfect.
customer by the throat and just empty the bottle into their mouth.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
Fucking drink it.
And we'll call it the Busy Beaver.
Oh, really?
I don't know if that'll sell too well.
But
I
yeah,
just like
it's fantastic.
Thank you.
So good.
Yeah.
random thought of the day. I just popped in my head. A drink called the casting couch. That's all.
That could be a good one.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why? Well, why?
It'd be a cream something.
casting.
Okay. Got it. All right.
There'd be milk in that.
Mm.
We're about to turn into a pumpkin. So,
and we still haven't gotten my shit story from 3
oh
weeks ago.
my, yeah, I know.
We're
It's-
not doing it tonight. We're not doing it.
yeah,
We're just going to linger longer.
Yep.
We're going to talk about it next week.
It's written.
It's fucking horrible. I will tell you about it after the show.
No, don't. I want to know.
Okay.
I want to know. I want to be
wanna
surprised.
experience it?
Yes, I want to experience it at its full potential. We did 2 hours.
Nice.
Guys,
Thank you.
Thank you.
gave us a fucking bunch of mead.
And we did.
We cannot
Have you been
do.
listening to Rogan's podcast?
We haven't.
We haven't?
The royal we.
Okay. I'm just because he always goes like, "We did 3 hours, guys. This is crazy."
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. He almost always
Really?
subliminal.
I haven't been listening.
Well,
At all.
most of his podcasts are 3 hours because he's famous and rich, and he can do that 3 days a week. I would seriously do the show every single fucking day if I didn't have a job.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Be pretty awesome.
So patreon.com/deadradio podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
Give us some money so we can quit our jobs at Crafted Cup, 44 Raymond Avenue in Poughkeepsie.
I'm about to break out that bedpan I got the other day. I got an antique bedpan from him.
We should auction
Yeah.
off. We should auction off the
Lieutenant
porcelain antique bedpan. That was.
Oh, shout out to
Little trip. There you go.
Shout out to Tony Odell doing her photo shoot from Tony Odell from Knitting Is Metal. She came by and took a bunch of my props.
Accoutrement.
I just have a fucking
Yeah.
a ridiculous amount of Halloween props and shit
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. So
Cool.
she came by to do a photo shoot. She's a good friend of ours.
Sweet.
She was a fucking mess yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. She came by. She had a birthday party on Saturday and came by and got all that stuff. She was a fucking zombie.
Yeah, I wish I could have gone over that, man.
Yeah. So, yeah. If you've been listening to the show, thank you. Also, check out saltpointmeadery.com. At Salt Point Meadery on Facebook and at Salt Point Mead on Facebook and at Salt Point Meadery on Instagram. That sucks.
It's all good. You just type
It's
Salt
fine.
Point Meadery somewhere.
It
in an
pops
app.
up, but it just
It'll
stops.
come up. Yeah.
Check them out. Hey, if you're in the Poughkeepsie area, pop-up tasting at Adams Fairacre Farms this Sunday, December 16th, 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. over by the old pastry garden. And if you're from the area, you know what's up. Go to saltpointmeadery.com, shoot them a email or whatever to set up a tasting at.
Do stuff.
Am
with
I giving
things.
this address out?
Just
Go for it. Yeah, no,
whatever.
it's on Google Maps.
11 Charles Street,
Charles.
Pleasant Valley, New York.
You got it.
Charles. Chuck Street.
And you guys
Sweet
will
Chuck.
definitely be at Creator Fest.
Yes.
We will be there.
May the 4th.
Yes.
Yeah.
May 4th, Creator
May the
Fest.
4th be
It's
with
official.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's happening.
It's
That's
definitely
exciting.
happening. Salt
Yeah,
Point
we're pumped.
Meadery.
We had a great time last year, so I know it's going to be even
It's
better
going to
this year.
be 4,000 times better.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah, we're pumped.
As long as it doesn't rain.
It
Well, we
will
have a
not
rain
rain.
date.
Still had a good
Yeah,
time.
we got a rain
Yeah.
date, so we're good.
Yeah, and apparently if you don't commit to it, we sue you.
Yeah, that's what sounds good.
Promising.
Yeah.
It's promising.
Very good.
That was what I got out of the meeting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I should be ready with a lawyer.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I mean, it's
Have your
contact.
lawyer ready?
Yeah.
So the rain date is May 11th, the following Saturday. Yeah. And if you don't show, we keep your deposit and we sue you.
Right.
That's
You're
right,
talking about the
that's what we
customers or the
decided?
vendors?
No, you. You specifically.
Yeah. Sounds
Yeah,
great.
If people don't
we will
show,
be
we
there
sue
then.
you for $100,000.
Okay.
And if you're interested in Salt Point Meadery's stuff,
They have stickers now.
They have
We
stickers,
stickers, yeah.
now. They also have some of their product at 44 Raymond Avenue in Poughkeepsie.
That's right.
The Crafted Cup
The exclusive retailer.
for Cornerstone. Yeah.
Glad you jumped in because I forgot the name.
Yeah. Is it Boost?
For Boost.
For Boost. It's the energy meat, right?
Yeah, it gives you
The
energy.
energy meat.
With the caffeine and
Right.
Yeah.
There is
It's like Four Loko, but honey.
I forgot
Right.
to ask.
Exactly.
There is caffeine in there.
Well,
has
I
to
mean, we
be.
soaked coffee beans in it,
Yeah,
so
there
there is
has to be
caffeine.
caffeine in it. Yeah.
We did not measure it. We were not required to, so we did not. But
Yeah.
I had some.
You
Nor-
should
nor
be
cite it.
required to.
yeah,
I had
No,
some-
But
cite
you
it.
should be required to
So
say
say
that there's
caffeine.
caffeine in
Yes.
it, but apparently the United States government has a problem with
The
that.
government.
Yeah,
Been watching a lot of King of the Hill lately.
Yeah, sounds like it.
You remember Dale?
Yeah. So yeah, Crafted Cup Cornerstone, the only place you can get it.
I had one at the tasting, a full one. I didn't taste it. I drank it, and I swear to God, I felt like a little boost at the end of the night.
Oh, you felt the boost.
Yeah, a little boost of energy.
Yeah,
from the Cornerstone.
Makes sense.
And
it's fantastic.
I brought it home with the
Everyone should
caveat. I
drink it.
put it in the fridge and I said,
"Wait, you didn't bring it home?
No,
You're not
no,
allowed
no.
to bring it home.
No. I
Yeah.
purchased it and
enjoyed it. And then you drank it at the location
And then
where
I
you
came
purchased
home and I opened the refrigerator and I turned around to Brooke
And you were
I
like,
said,
I remember when I drank that
Yeah.
at 44 Raymond Avenue in Poughkeepsie.
Please be careful. There's some caffeine in there.
Yes.
And it did give me a little bit of a boost.
Plus, there's Current Rose at.
Oh yeah, we have Current Rose too,
Yeah.
which is
and that you can
amazing.
buy on the internet
On
and
the
have
internet.
delivered to your house.
That's correct. We have many people do that. Yeah, on a weekly basis.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
All right. Piss is about to come out of me.
I have to pee really bad. Can we
Yep.
be as well?
I concur.
Stop the show right now.
Who's coming next week?
Next week is what? What?
The 16th, 17th, 17th.
Oh,
17th.
Ryan Berberich, supposedly.
Holy fucking shit!
Crazy.
So Ryan Berberich has been on this show,
Yes.
and then canceled
Twice.
three
Three
subsequent
times? Yeah.
three subsequent episodes.
He is one of the
but it's because he's
few
changed beer distributors
distributors.
many times. So now he is with Duchess Beer, I believe. So
Okay.
we're going to be mostly talking Millhouse Beer
All right. Nice.
if he shows. We'll see.
Titles.
Titles. I'm going to go to the bathroom. You can do it.
All right.
And
If you guys know, you guys know.
Wait, I want
Yeah.
to weigh in.
All right.
All
He's
right.
gonna weigh in.
I'm going to power through. All right, we have Math is Hard,
All right.
which is a fun throwback to Reading,
is hard.
We also have Other Than Standard Craft Beer.
Okay.
Thanksgiving Time. January Time. And Watch Your Nuts.
Watch your nuts.
Watch your
everyone.
nuts.
Watch your nuts.
Well, I have a couple.
Yeah.
I like to.
Oh, you have a
to
separate.
slide in. I have Tastes Like a Cow.
Mm.
That's racist and sexist. And I've Seen You Drunk. I don't know if those help.
They're not in chalk though on the table.
I like
so
Thanksgiving Time.
Thanksgiving time, yeah.
No, Other Than Standard Craft
I
Beer.
like
yeah.
January time.
January Time.
God damn it.
I like Other Than Standard.
Other Than Standard Craft Beer is my vote.
Yeah.
I'll go
Can
with
we
it.
change it to
I'll go
crap beer?
No.
No. Okay. Fine.
We're not allowed to change them.
Oh, they're already on the.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's here, it's in stone.
Other than
so it shall be written, so it shall be done.
Other than standard
That's from
craft
the King
beer,
and I.
actually fits very nicely.
Let's do it.
Can we do hashtag January time?
Sure.
Sure.
There you
Alright.
go.
You can hashtag anything you want.
It's
Oh,
true.
okay.
Everybody does it.
And hashtag math is hard because
Yeah.
math is,
It is
hard.
hard. Especially now.
So you're doing all of them. That's good.
Very good.
That's good.
Pretty much.
Just make that a trend. This will be the title, and then you hashtag everything.
That's
else.
awesome.
everything.
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to pee before I pee myself.
All right. Once again, saltpointmeadery.com, at Salt Point Mead on Facebook, and at Salt Point Meadery on Instagram. Pop-up tasting at Adams Fairacre Farms this Sunday, December 16th, 12 to 4. Guys,
I'll be there.
thanks for
Thank
getting me
you.
drunk.
Yeah,
You
you
got
got
it,
it.
man.
Thanks for having
On
us.
a fantastic beverage that everybody needs to, that has been growing 30%, 10% for the past 3 years in
Sure.
sales. I
Yes.
don't know. You shared it.
Whatever
on your,
you
on
said.
your Facebook.
Yeah. I don't know what I share.
We're doing good. We're
Yeah,
doing good.
Doing stuff with things. What Bosch said.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Until next week, saltpointmeadery.com. That's all you need to know. Bye.
Grazie.
I'm so fucking ready now. Like you open your mouth if you're gonna piss right out of it.
There's somebody that listens to my
That's very true.
Well, we'll work on
You
that.
hit the
Thanks, Al.
outro music and you expect like a minute or two later it's gonna be over, but then all of a sudden 10 minutes later
Yeah,
you're
you're
still
like,
talking
so what else can we talk about? Yeah. I wouldn't know how to end the show.
You guys know where the bathroom is?
Yeah. It's right here, right?
About to go outside.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've done that many times when I go with the dogs.
Oh yeah. Let them know who owns it.
There we go.
It was like a gallon of piss.
Did they leave?
No. I don't think so. Oh, they don't really have anything left, do they? Oh, we're still streaming.